What you don't know won't hurt you. Ignorance is bliss. The less you know, the better. Stay asleep. It's okay.
Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources falls under the fair use of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998. Therefore, no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is substantially sourced, not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary. In all my travels, in all my years, I've been able to overcome all the obstacles that come my way. But there's one thing I cannot deal with, and that's when someone's glued a deck of cards together. You just can't.
Satellite tracking continues.
Wow. Yes. Wow. We did it again, right? We survived another week. It's an accomplishment in these times. Turn my camera on somewhere. Wait. There, let there be light. Focus. Hey, everyone. We got to stay in focus. Hair looks pretty good tonight, so we'll go with that. I've got Jen in the backstage just about to come on, and excited for another Friday night. Got lots to talk about as usual. A bunch of tabs and the main subject, Festivus, which Jen and I were talking about because of the last the last Festivus that we just passed, where everyone blows shit up in the name of freedom, right? I'm having some mint tea in my bark side of the forest mug. Got for my son. Love you, man. Anyways, where are you? There you are. Hey,
Hi.
hi,
Hello.
boom baby.
Doing well. How are you?
Doing great. We had family visiting again today, so today was really low key though, but it does get a little more hectic. But I was able to get most everything I needed done up here in the studio this week, and so it's been so nice out though. There's a lot of work been doing outside here too. So
Well, it's not nice out here. It's been so hot and humid. You don't even want to go outside, and then it rains, and then you think it's going to cool off, but it doesn't. It just gets hotter again. Seems to be like a trend. It's like 90 degrees, feels like 108, that kind of stuff. Like
yeah, because you get humidity. See, we're blessed that it's more of a dry heat, I guess they say, but we don't get that humid here. We get it more as rain. So, but anyways, um, welcome everyone. I don't know what in the heck's going on with the chat. Thank you all for being here. It says there's 60 watching, but that thing was flashing so fast I couldn't keep up with the chat. I tried to put the comment on and it jumped 3 comments up. It's beautiful. I love it. It's quite a gathering. It's besides what goes on this screen, there's a whole other thing that happens in the chat, and it's wonderful. And so thank you all for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, and subscribe. And what else? We got a few people over on Rockfish. Hey everyone, glad to see you over there too. And and real quick, I want to thank. I do get tips, and I got on Rockfin. I've got Brett and Heather and Noel Hypothesis. I like that, and Valley Parks. So thank you over there. And then just before the show, Lisa sent me some on the Cash App that's plugged on the side there and the link. So thank you for that.
oh, that's nice.
It's beautiful. I love it. It's wonderful. So, okay, what's next? And where should we start? Oh yeah, who was late? There were some people that were late. Where's my guy? Here we go. To whoever's late, Melanie, keep track of this now, would you?
I don't feel dirty.
And I did see someone, it was probably Johnny Cool, he thinks he's so cool, said he's early and then he's going to leave and come back. I don't know. If you said that to a teacher, you're late. So
yeah, it's late. Anyway, slice it, Johnny. But he is really cool. I met him in person at the meetup. Johnny Cool lives up to his name.
Well, he better, or we'd have to change it on him. So, but the rest of you all, we know, thank you all for coming. We know why you're here, because of this.
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
But you know what, Jen? Did you know there's here? Where's my breaking? I have breaking news. I don't even have it anymore. It was on here somewhere. But yeah, I have breaking news that they're reshooting that.
Really?
They're making a new version, and they called me, and yeah, and so I have part of the, what they call them? They call them the beginning reels before they actually go to production. They let me have some one of them. So here's one of them.
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
That was good.
Now we had a friend visit. Sandra came out and
What was your motivation there? I just want to ask.
Oh, I wanted to outdo his clip, of course. And
But you know how actors,
the camera adds 5 pounds, and some of the candy or bad food I was eating adds 10. But regardless, I was channeling his performance, and I think I nailed it.
I think you
So
did too. I think you
we went out and toured all the old buildings out in that area where that was shot, and I still haven't put all that together. I've got a lot of raw footage that I've got to put together. So
that's gonna
maybe
be cool.
the next mud flood show or whatever you call it, melted building show, whatever.
Melted,
We'll
mucked up buildings.
yeah, whatever. X Factor. I like that one. It covers it all. It's like
Yeah.
there's multiple X Factors, one giant one, two giant ones. We'll never know. It's like the center of the Tootsie Pop. We'll never know the answer to these
How
things.
many licks does it take?
Yeah. Yeah, you'll never know. Even that wise old owl doesn't know. So
I never forget that he'd be like 1, 2.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, even that wise owl, because you know what? Where is he? At the end of the day,
I know nothing. Nothing.
because we don't. And you read the
just love
teachings,
the
and it says
whole-
that it says we don't know anything, and it says the elite and the elect, they're going to be deceived more than anyone. And then it says all the knowledge that you have is all wrong, and the meek are gonna that ask God find out the real knowledge, and that's what's happening. It's fascinating.
Yeah, because like I tell people all the time, I am not a college graduate. I am not some super smart person or anything like that. I just come upon things, and the Holy Spirit seems to lead me down certain paths of truth that I am able to come in and digest and be able to explain to you guys about what I see happening here. And I think we're all being used at this time by God in a certain way to bring out these truths and stuff. Like when you went down this path of truth ceiling fan, man, I mean, you're probably on a whole other different journey at the time. Weren't even thinking about like being in this line of truth and stuff. What were you, a gemologist?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing all that stuff? And
Yeah, I found out all the stuff that I used to sell, it's all lies.
yeah.
Like the meteors, I found out because I had a guy that has one of those guns that tells you, like, you shoot the gun and it tells you like through radiation or something what's in it,
Uh-huh.
and all the metals and these little metallic things that I used to sell. They're all iron. They're basically, if they were doing metalworking in Russia, because that's where they come from, and
Yeah.
you throw like hot metal into water or the slag, and then you can pound it into shapes or whatever, and they sell the crap out of this stuff. Because now that I believe that there is a covering, it's not getting through. So it had to have started here. There's the whole idea behind diamonds. We've covered that. Diamonds, they say, are formed at the molten core of the earth, and then volcanoes shoot them out, and then millions of years, then they go into the alluvial deposits, and we dig them out. And so, as someone that, I no longer believe we're flying through space and there's a molten core and all that, the Bible describes where, these different things come from, and modern science doesn't. Just like we covered gold. If you talk to modern science, if you want to believe in anything but the Bible, they say gold came from an outer space crash of meteor. And that's how we got all the gold on Earth. Now, if you read the Bible, right after Adam and Eve, it's the texts that are associated with it, but they're not the actual biblical texts. They're the like some of the missing books and the lost scrolls and things like that. And it's the book Adam and Eve, and it describes how forlorn Adam is when they get thrown out and they have to reside in a cave. And he says, is there anything you can do to make them more comfortable? And so he sends out 3 angels, and they bring back, just like they did for Jesus, according to the story, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And the gold comes from an area of God's throne. So it does come from outer space, I guess, not our space. It comes from another space out of here, which would be heaven. So it's a similar story. And so now when I look at all these things, like, none of it makes sense since I don't believe in this. Well, look, science just is deciding they've only dug down 8 miles deep, and then they guess on the rest of it, like everything else they do. And which tab is it? It's one of these here. Yeah, this one. This just came out. Scientists discover a gigantic solid metal ball inside the Earth's core. So they just decided this. And again, they haven't seen any farther in. They can only go 8 miles, which doesn't even scratch the surface of this ball, BAAL. And they're going to tell us what's in the center of the Tootsie Pop. And bullshit.
Exactly.
You have to believe in this if you want to think that diamonds and mountains and crystals and all that take millions of years to form and shoot out volcanoes. You have to go back here, and I won't go back there. It's going back, at least for me, what, 5-7 years, whenever we started this journey. I don't know anymore. It seems like forever.
I know, right?
Yeah, exactly. But Big Bear, and I said it right this time. Yeah, which way do you spell it? We took the place that we live in, and they shaped it into this ball, and then you pray to ball. Science does. So yeah. Okay, so what do we got here? Oh, this is almost good as scary space news. Oh, well, how about while she's on the phone, we'll hit you with scary space news. How about that? Let's see. Let's see. It's one of these buttons. There, that one.
This week in Scary Space News.
Okay. All right. So first off, we're going to go this way. And then we're going to share this. Clickety click. Go the whole screen. I think we need to do that too. Hang on a second. Got to go over here. We'll mute that. Much better. Okay. Clickety click. Share screen. Scary Space News. And I just got one. I think from you, Mr. Big Bear. This pesky mathematicians. It's so tiny to read for even me, but it says Laurie Mercini Houghton, a physics professor at UNC Chapel Hill in the College of Arts and Science, has proven mathematically that black holes can never come into being in the first place. So here's the thing. By their own article, it forces scientists to reimagine the fabrics of space-time and also rethink the origin of the universe. I'm still not over the shock. We've been studying this for more than 50 years, and this solution gives us a lot to think about. And so it goes through all this, but basically it contradicts the guy that I talk about a lot, Stephen Hawking's, his S is gone, Stephen Hawking, and how his quantum mechanics show the black holes emit radiation. That's basically what got us all into this whole space is real kind of thing going on. And so here we are, finding out that now we got to rewrite the whole thing, shockingly. So those pesky mathematicians. What's next? Oh, more cartoons. So the what do you call it? James Webb, I think it is. Raw images of Saturn are absolutely jaw-dropping. Okay, I looked at this and I said, they can get more jaw-dropping. I know it. And if anybody that doesn't know how this works, if you're new to my channel or the discussions that we have, what they do is they take one article and they send it across to every news organization. They used to call it like the AP Wire or whatever they call it now. And everyone gets the same story. They just, if they want to tweak the headline, keep the story pretty much the same and identical and change the name of who writes it. So I'm like, that image, drawing, cartoon, see, image. And we've looked that up, look up the definition of image. The first thing that comes is like drawings or artist rendition kind of thing. Image, photographs is way down the end of the list on things like that. That's why they don't say photo, they say image. So I looked around and see, here's a better one. See, so now it's the same thing, same photo, only it's in color and it's tilted. The last one was a little this way, and now it's all right. So I like this one better. And then I came across this article. The solar system may be hiding an extra planet, scientists say. And look at the image they get. Oh, come on. That's the image I had when I was in grade school. Okay, don't give me that. It's 2023, or so they say.
I actually had a project in the 6th grade. I'll never forget it. And we had to do the solar system on a big piece of, poster board. And the sun, and we exactly like that. We had to do it ourselves and draw, like have it drawn out, colored in, made it all. I actually got an A+ on it.
Of course you did. The whole reason I set this up and I talk about this as a class is when I started first watching him, and we're going to see one of those videos tonight because you have it from your bit shoot. And okay, get more tea when you get a chance, honey. The first time I started, Jen said hi. The first time I started watching Jen, what were we talking about? The classroom thing. It's like I was a chatter. And every once in a while, we'd get out of control, and she'd kind of like say, "All right, everyone, are you listening?" You know, whatever. So I that's how I got the whole idea of being in school, and yeah, so yeah, of course you did well in school.
I went to Catholic school, and my mom had to pay for my education, so you didn't bring home low grades.
That's
you got
true.
your ass kicked.
That's very true.
I was always first or second honors, mostly second honors, I'd say.
Yeah, and you know, and they do this to us not just in school. From we're a baby, people. It was big in our day to have like those mobiles with the planets, right?
Yep, mobiles.
Mobile. You should know how to say that. You're from Alabama.
Alabama.
Freaking Bama. Thank you. All right, so
late. I think Jenny's late. If you want to hit the tardy on her, Jenny late.
How do I find that?
3 minutes late to class. How dare you?
It's over here somewhere. See, I got so many.
I know. That's how I am now.
Oh, here it is.
I don't feel dirty.
It usually echoes too, so that's cool. So there you go, Jenny. All right, so back to this. So I was looking at this and I'm like, okay, hey, this is nuts. They use this ridiculous old, there's got to be a better cartoon. So I did. So this article is by Shahir Salzad, and he obviously doesn't spend much time doing his stuff. So I went to a different one. Here's the same article. Well, now it's still a drawing, and although it's a newer drawing, no, it didn't go for me, by Leah Crane. Okay, and hers was actually before his, but whatever. So I kept looking. I came across this one. We're getting a little better. It's kind of like, I don't know, 2001-ish or 2010, the one nobody really watched. But I still didn't like it. I kept going. Now we're getting a little better. We're getting like a close-up of this mysterious planet that doesn't, supposedly shouldn't exist. And but again, image credit. They don't even say what the credit of the image is. You know what I mean? It could be someone's knee or something. Or
they don't even have to anymore. People are dumbed down. They don't even care.
Yeah. So I went to, okay, now we're getting much better. I like this one, but I still was like, there's got to be a better one. And this one's from Mul Ruben Das. Like, I think they make up these names, the computers now. I'm sorry.
Now.
What?
We fooked now.
Yeah.
Name. We fooked now.
No, well, let's not go there. But they did have that one where they had those pilots, We Too Low and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. One of them was We Fucked Now.
Oh, and We Too Low, and yeah. Anyways, So now you got this. Maybe we can do better. Now we're getting better. We get some action going on, a little extra, whatever this is. Now this planet has extra moons, I guess, an asteroid belt. So we're getting better. I still wasn't quite satisfied. Then I came across this one. They went crazy. They went all Star Trek on us, right? And Strange World. Yeah. So, yeah, this one was pretty stupid, I thought. So then I found okay, here we go. Is
that a marble? It looks like a marble.
Come on, that's a real image. See? Image.
No, that guy, what's his name? Matt Powerland. He painted that.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God, those are great. But look at who did this one. And to talk about the internet trolling me, Joshua Hawkins, the way I remember it with the S. It's no longer on Stevens.
Because he's alive. That's why. He's a fraud.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, that was my favorite image for that. And honestly, I'm getting to the point where, is there any more? No. Scary Space News is just who draws the best cartoon, It's Joy says it looks like a jawbreaker. So
it does.
Okay, so let's see. Let me get out of that. Because what I find happening, since there's not as much Scary Space News, I thought I'd try a new thing here. And it's called what did I call it? Someone's Getting Fired. Okay. So check this out, Jenny. Ready? So
someone should get fired over this, right?
I like that.
So I was told about this show called Firefly. Put it on, and lo and behold, a few minutes in, what do we have here? Someone's getting fired. They need to separate that VW logo. It's not supposed to be like that anymore. So, anyways, just another day trying to live my life peacefully and quantum.
That was someone's getting fired, is what that was.
I like it. That was a good catch. It's rare to catch that on the VWs.
Yeah, and what's weird is like I don't know. It's like the things that we talk about, almost like we start seeing them more.
Yeah.
Just for no reason, someone walks in like reading a Berenstein book, or a Curious George doll, or what was the one I saw the other day? They were wearing a shirt that was just another one. It's like it's always in our faces,
Yeah.
It's like I said, I feel okay. I'm gonna take time out from like reading scripture. I'm gonna take time out from learning all the new stuff we have to learn in this world that we live in, and maybe I can just chill and put on a stupid show for a minute, and hopefully it doesn't have like horrific, gratuitous sex scenes.
Or any females with Adam's apples in
Yeah,
them.
and all that stuff too. And you try your best. And it's like I go for like maybe older movies and stuff, and hopefully it's not too like agenda pushed, but no. So and then
my husband will say to me, "Can't we just watch a movie without you picking it apart and seeing stuff?"
Yeah, you've ruined that for us.
I gotta get that.
You've totally ruined. Oh, that's me. My wife puts up with that now. It's funny because I'll look at her, go, and she'll just like, "Go ahead," because I have to rewind it. I have to, like you said. But no, you've ruined watching pretty much anything for me because some beautiful women come on the screen. I'll be like, "What do you think, hon?" Shoulders a little broad. What would Jen say? Is the feet sitting out, or are they in? What is going on?
Exactly. You know them by their feet.
Oh, nice. Well, I can't even get to that guy fast enough. I haven't done him with the bloodshot. Here you go.
That's very true.
His eyes are still bloodshot. I can't believe we never noticed that before.
I know that's all I fixate on now. That's how red his eyes are. It's ridiculous. It's so funny. So let's see. And I know the audience was clamoring for my rendition of Richard Gere. And who wouldn't? The odds that's why they hired me to redo this is because not only do we have the same name, but two people that look this handsome. It's just like it's a natural,
Why wouldn't it?
Right?
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
Oh.
You guys. Thank you for putting up with my mental illness. These are all the things that I like used to do for no one, and now I can do it for a whole bunch of people here.
Richard Gere's got that sourpuss face though, where he looks like he just bit into a lemon or something.
Yeah.
That one.
He definitely is one of my favorite handlers, I have to say, though. He's over the years.
He's a blinker. He's always got the blinking eyes. Whenever you see him in movies.
Oh, now you're gonna ruin that for me?
You never noticed that? Yeah,
No.
he blinks a lot.
Oh,
kind of like that Olstein guy, Joel Olstein.
Is that with the L or without the L? Who knows?
I know him with the L.
You know him with the L?
He's a blinker too. I don't know what's up there. He's like,
wow, I had no idea. See, she's ruining more things for me.
What's going on there? Look up on this stuff.
Yeah, I will. I'll get right on that.
I don't care.
I don't know if it means anything. I just noticed this stuff.
Oh my gosh. Okay, where are we at here? Is anybody still here? Okay, good. Yeah, is this on? Tick, tick, tick. Okay, so let's see what we got here. I want to go through. Okay, we'll bring that up in a minute. Well, let's kill some of these tabs. So, clickety click.
Yeah, I think the blinking has something to do with lion. Exactly.
Oh, is it? Probably. And then certain ways you look, I think, does that too. Okay, this was interesting. This guy, he's talking about how through somatics, we've talked about this water and how it does these different patterns. Mm-hmm. And so he was able to take these designs and like when you put filters together, And I'll put this in the chat. I just don't know some of these people if they like me showing it. But see what it's doing? It actually creates a face.
What?
Yeah.
What? Wait. This is too much.
Is that wild? He did that with yeah. So I'll put this in the chat.
I'm totally tripping out right now. Play that again. Hold on.
I think he
I
does
gotta
it.
make it big on my end here. Hold on. I gotta really look at
Here's him taking it apart so you can see the pieces. Isn't that something? And so I people have talked and asked me about this, is there a number system to our DNA? Is there a number system to the Bible and all this? And my answer to that on everything is yes, I believe that exists. You can see the Fibonacci pattern, you can see the repeating numbers, you can see all the different things that you all see. I see it too. And so how does it work? I can't tell you that. Just like I use this phone to make phone calls and do all kinds of other computer things for this show. Do I know how it actually works? Absolutely not. I don't. But I can still use it. And it's the same thing when I pick up this Bible the right way. When I pick up this Bible, yeah, there's a coding in it. And supposedly even our DNA, it says God or Yahweh or something. And there's a coding in this book. I get that. This whole system works off of coding. But how does it work? I don't know, and neither do you, and nobody else that you listen to knows either. Only God knows. But it's pretty fascinating that when you take these pieces that God has designed and you put them together, that you get an intelligent design.
Yeah.
And that's what you've got here.
I cannot believe it's tripping me out. This is really blowing my mind right now. That's too much.
Yeah.
So everything is frequency. We're basically held together by cymatic frequency, which is the sacred geometry of the Creator, the Father in heaven. And which makes sense, how this Mandela effect can happen, how things can change because the frequencies are changing.
Right. And in addition to that, the people that say that they feel from, Cinco de Mayo G, the different towers and electrical currents, if we're made up of however much water, that's been quantum affected. It used to be 90, it's 80, I don't know, but we're a majority made up of water, and you send these seismic wavelengths through us, it's going to affect us. It could affect our health. It could affect our minds. It could do all of that stuff. And that's science. So now, let's see. I think it's that button, copy link, and we'll go back in here. Okay. Let me drop that in the chat and say hello, chat. Hi, chat. And I'll throw that over on Rockfish. Got some people over there. Thank you for watching over there. Blink. There it goes. Okay. Let's go get back into this. So go clickety click and go here and go here and here and here. All right. Got that. What's next? Oh, what makes a good movie? Great actors. Now this one, I have to I'll slow it down because they go so fast. So regardless of whatever side of the politics you want to sit on, or on the discussions that we have on this show or any other show, regardless, you have to admit that the faces that you're about to see, they look completely different. And I know people age, and I know people get plastic surgery, and I know people, they get heavy, whatever. But certain things like earlobes and things usually don't, and foreheads and shapes of jaws usually don't change. And so here we have this gentleman. No, who is this? Bill Gates' wife.
Yeah.
She looks quite different over the years, and I'm not age shaming or fat shaming or anything shaming. I'm just saying they look different.
It looks like two different people.
Right? And here we go. Now this is that dude that just got hired into, was it a Congress position or something? And he already had an issue when he was going in, and then apparently he had a stroke, and he came back, and he barely can get a sentence out, and his head shape changed and his jawline changed.
Yeah.
So they don't even try anymore. It used to be when you had heads of state, and we've always talked about it. The whole world's talked about other countries. They have doubles, and even actors have doubles, and all these people. You tell me what's going on, unless you think that they was put into some kind of head crushing machine. So, and then we got this gentleman or dragon or Vlad the Impaler. So I don't know. I'm just saying.
Definitely looks different.
Yeah, right. And we got this guy. He keeps changing all the time. I thought this was interesting because here he's shirtless with a tattoo, and here he's no tattoo with a lot of hair. So his hair the tattoo turned into hair. I don't know what's going on, but I thought I'd share that with you in case you want to see the president shirtless. There you go. No bueno, as Stephen.
No bueno.
There, look. The signatures are different. Look at the faces. You're telling me that that's just from age? I mean, his earlobes even look different. I don't know. Moving on. What's next? I'm going to speed this up a bit. Of course, I keep stopping it. We'll go like that.
Johnny Cool says you need to warm us up before putting monsters on the screen, CFM.
Oh, sorry. Oops. Sorry about that. Yeah, who we got here?
Is that Hunter? Go back.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow. What they do?
Come on. What are they trying to? I'm going to hit pause here. And then we've covered this. I know I've shown a few of these mask things on air, like that one. I haven't seen that one. That one's really cool. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Let me move forward. Clickety click. Yeah, real and CGI. I truly believe that. And I've shown videos where like Mark Zuckerberg or the president's head vanishes. So I think they're already in their bunkers. I don't think that we're talking. I think the prison guards are not in the prison anymore. I think they watch us from out somewhere else. So, but both those people look completely different to me.
Oh yeah, Bill Gates looks like an old lady,
right? And so does his husband. So what do you got here? Look at this. Come on, that one's
Hillary.
That one's funny. All right, Justin Trudeau. Oh, yeah, the teeth are. Well, he might have got his teeth fixed now that he got so, much money from the shenanigans going on. So that one, it could just be fixed his teeth. But yeah, I covered this one where there's an ear flap here, and I covered this one. Looks just like that card from the Illuminati game, the imposter card. Yeah, this one. So,
right.
I mean, come on, how many different faces can we see on this guy? And we still just believe it's the same guy. And then there was this picture I still don't understand. Do you understand this one? Remember when this came out like, I don't know, a year or so ago? And they told us it was the camera angle and perspective.
What is going on here?
Well, they visited Carter and his wife. They visited Carter and his wife. I don't think I can make this any larger.
Look, it looks like they're puppets and they got their hands shoved up their ass.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Rosalind, I think is her name, and Jimmy. And then, of course, it's Joe and Jill. And I don't know. This was a weird photo, and everyone made comments when it came out, and they just said, oh, it's a camera angle. It's a trick of the lens. My camera doesn't do that.
That's weird.
Oh, okay. What else we got here? Yeah, we covered the ear tab. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, okay. So we've got a lot of...
There you go. Looks like a woman.
Yeah. That's funny. What's this? Oh, Nancy Pelosi's son-in-law got a picture with this guy before he raided the Capitol. That's cool.
He hired him.
Excuse me. Yeah, and the Simpsons just showed the same thing, didn't they? Well, I don't know what the rest of this video is, but yeah, there's a lot of weirdness going on with these faces.
Yeah, they replaced him a long time ago. Vlad.
No, we're showing that one. All right. Well, you guys get the idea. So
who's really running the show?
You got me. Who knows? Who knows?
Could you see the production behind the scenes at the White House?
Right? Now, I wanted to comment on this one because a lot of people were showing this video. It's this one. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to have the audio because she cusses a lot. But she basically she comes up this plane and she starts screaming and yelling because she said that the guy sitting next to her has a shapeshifter and has weird eyes and whatever. Okay. Now, first thing I want to say, if it's a viral video, it's most likely 100% fake in my mind because these things, especially that deal with aliens and shapeshifters and all that stuff, they want these to get out there and they want us, whatever we are, to comment on these things. And on my channel, I'll comment and I'll just say it's BS. There's too many things about this. First of all, if you look at, she does the bafflement pose right here with 2 fingers up and 2 fingers down. I'm sure that was just a coincidence.
Why would she do that?
Why would she do that? Exactly. She totally does it. She definitely takes these 2 and puts them down and holds these 2 up on purpose. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is all these people on the plane, and there's only like 1 view or 2 now. I think it's completely. It was a staged acting thing by this gal and whoever else. And another thing, this is the one that my wife found. Look at this. We were talking about masks. What's going on here?
Let me make it big here. It looks like it's a necklace when I have it small.
Yeah, but wait, because it zooms in on it. You can see it's lifting and closing.
Oh, I think I just saw it. Yeah.
Because the necklace shouldn't vanish.
What the F, bro?
So I think this whole thing was staged to continue on with the alien deception. Here, let's see. I think they closed in on it. Maybe not. Just well, someone I think took a shot of it too. Let's see. It's on this. Here, look at this. You could say that's a chain, but I don't know.
No. It looks like a
seam.
split.
That's what I see. And the fact that, like I said, everyone's looking at it and she does the bafflement pose, I cry BS. So, well, I'm not crying it. I'm just saying it. Oh, BS. No, I say BS. That's what I say. But I could be wrong because remember this show, I know nothing. So, just like, I don't even want to talk about this, but look at this top health headlines. What is the long shot? It's a long shot. He might, symptoms are now linked to, and they baffle the doctors. They don't understand. And what's the symptoms of a long shot? The symptoms are exactly the same as the long disease.
Of course.
The symptoms of the long shot can mimic those of the long disease: headaches, intense fatigue, abnormal heart rate, blood pressure, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I can't wait to line up to get all that.
But the question is like, so when you get those symptoms, did you have the long disease or did you get the long shot? See, they can't even tell you. They're actually baffled. Shocking.
We are in idiocracy.
We are. Oh, we're past that. That's in the rear view. Those people laugh at us and say, "What's wrong with them?" And they had duct tape on their buildings.
They duct tape buildings together.
I found one because I think we talked about it. I did find someone that did it, so we're already there. If I didn't show you, I'll look for it. So, okay, what's next? Scientists now say that the CC, because here's another thing you really can't discuss on this channel, is now making us blind. Now, the Catholics used to say it was, abusing yourself, but now apparently it's the CC is making us blind. So,
people are going blind because the weather's changing, is what you're saying?
Exactly. They want to do everything.
Weather now? Put it on the terrorist list?
Yeah. They want to do everything to keep us out of the sunshine and the fresh air. I mean, it's so funny. It's sad but funny.
This is insanity. But this is what we're supposed to be in the last days.
Yeah, and we're there. God called the shot. That funny, the shot, yeah. We already covered this. The long shot. He called the long shot. Yeah, it was a long shot and it came in. Imagine that. Let's see. Oh, I thought this was perfect for you, Jen. If you think it's weird for grown men to put on wigs, heels, and rouge and stockings, I have bad news for you about the founding fathers. See, our founding fathers were dragging it all the way to the White House. They've been doing this to us since the inception of our country. We just didn't see it, and now those that have eyes to see, we went, wait a minute, we're in the short season, right, Jen?
Yep, and supposedly back then, if those guys really existed with all their hair and stockings and shoes and skirts and stuff, the little boys would dress up like girls, and they called them lorries because that was a thing back then. And they said the little boys dressed like girls did what the girls didn't do. Sure, that.
All right, moving on.
I don't know how I know this stuff. I just do.
Okay, this I think was my favorite news story of this week. There's a UK cancer trust that's suggesting instead of vagina, we're going to call it now your bonus hole. Good night, everyone.
I got a bonus hole.
I know. I would assume so. The bonus hole.
Did you get that thing about Mr. Rogers singing about men and
Yeah,
women?
yeah, I did. I'm trying to figure out how
play that.
I don't know if you can though, because it's him singing. They might, but I can do it without the song. I can put the words on. But wait, come on, the bonus hole. Come on, everyone, the bonus hole.
The bonus.
And guess who it is? It's Joe's Cervical Cancer Trust. Now, if that doesn't sound like a joke, Joe's. Yeah, we got your Cancer Cervical Trust over here at Joe's. Come on down.
And Tom's tranny shop. It gets tranny fixed.
Get your tranny fixed. And we might even, if you're lucky, give you a bonus hole.
You're a tranny man. It's in your trannies all day long.
A bonus hole. No bueno, says Jenny. Yes. The bonus hole.
What is happening in this world?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The bonus hole brought to you by Joe's. Okay, what's next?
Next is tampons in the men's room. That's what's next.
Almost, because people of any gender can be pregnant, according to the Bank of England now. I don't know why they feel the need to get involved in this, but now everyone is. And so the Bank of England now, they had to change all kinds of things and probably offer tampons. And I've said this and I stand behind it. If you're a man or you were born a man, you have the XY chromosome. How about that? And you are bleeding profusely to where you need something to stop it, you have a wound and you should see a doctor. That's my discernment. But hey, I'm not a doctor and you should look into it yourself. But
it's completely mocking the natural order of things and the way God set up things to be. That's why we're seeing this. And it's profane because it's going to trickle down to the children, which it already has. Gender bathrooms are in their schools. I can't talk too much about it, but that's what this is all about.
100%. Yep. Because the new children growing up are only going to see this upside down, and it's up to us to let them know that no, this goes against God's teachings. That's right. And a natural law that goes against it. It just does.
And you will know them by their fruits.
Okay.
We're going to read that passage in a little bit.
And again, I'm not discussing the people that have made that decision. I'm discussing the unnatural push to confuse our children all the way down, as we played last week, at ages of 5 years old and up, that you can modify, mutilate, whatever you want to call it, your body by modern science. It shouldn't be allowed. That's where we're upset. We're not upset at the people that are being deceived. Meanwhile, you want to know the difference between cats and dogs? It's this.
Yep,
that's it.
Lilu agrees. She's right here. She agrees with you.
All right, what's next? Oh, and this, for all those that do still like sports ball, we've talked about how they they rig these games, but here's actual proof that you can do this. Not saying that. See here, it says the league's been testing these chips several years, starting with the Pro Bowl in 2015, and the chips were used in blah blah blah. Okay, and what this guy is claiming is it's been used in so many games like this one where the ball is just kind of like looks like it's going perfect and then suddenly steers all the way outside. And you could say, okay, it's just a bad luck. But here's this new thing, magnetic grip system. Okay, this is an actual product that I believe is on the market, and it makes the ball stick to your hand. And so that's what I say. They just teach them how to do these amazing leaps and jumps because they're very athletic. And as long as the ball comes anywhere near them, they get it.
Wow, dude, how many times have we seen that on
Right.
football?
Right. And these are just, average Joes. Joe. But yeah, although that guy, he worked for the Minnesota Vikings. His name is Colin Loeffler. And let's see. They're used in college games, they say. I don't know, it's just fascinating to me that, they're just coming right out and tell you.
So do you have to have these gloves on when you catch them? Is that the thing? Like,
Yeah, but they all have gloves now.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. All the football players have these gloves on now.
Yeah.
Gosh. Wow.
See? And they're trying them out.
Well, they've been around forever then, probably. Yeah, because I remember always seeing these guys with gloves on and stuff, or at least the one that they're going to catch it with. But see, look, these guys all have it. They all have gloves on. Fuck
Right?
these assholes. I'm sorry. That pisses me off.
Ball sticks to D-Hop's gloves.
Wow.
So I just thought that was fascinating. But
that's a good find. Really good.
Right? So I'll throw that in the chat too. If anybody wants to check that
out. Right, Jenny, all the world's a stage. It's all fake. Everything.
Right? All the world is a stage. So put that in there.
Flat.
Click. We'll throw this in. Where are you? People over on Rockfish. And okay. And there we are. All right. What's next? Let's see. Get through some more of these tabs. Entire screen. Clickety click. Let's see. We're here. We got rid of that one. Here you go, Jenny. You were just talking about the whole world's a stage.
Yeah.
This comes from one of my faves, Bill and Ted, and they have the most excellent videos. And we can get rid of
time. Excellent.
I know, right?
I saw the first one in the theaters when I was like 16.
Right? Oh, yeah. The first one was the best. Is the only one. But see this? Look how easy it is to. I mean, you look like you're in a completely different city, time, period. Just that easy.
Wow.
And so when people, and thank you, I get people sending me all kinds of stories and videos and stuff. And there's so many that if I can't make a discernment, I can't show it because I don't want to get caught in this. And that's why I wanted to cover the lady on the plane. And when I saw enough of what I think say tomfoolery, I just say, I think that was made up kind of like these are, just put a couple actors on a plane. It was before the plane took off, so it wasn't much of a harm foul. They just kicked her off with her stuff. So anyway, it's pretty wild how easily they can deceive us.
Maybe the guy noticed she had a mask on and she got up and wigged out and tried to say he was some reptilian shapeshifter.
Yeah, there's that idea too.
Yeah, redirection.
Deflection, yeah.
Deflection.
Right? All right. So we got that. Let's move on. And then this one was for all the cat lovers out there. These things make me laugh.
Oh.
Okay, one more.
He went into a vortex there.
Yeah. I want to know where this dance club is where it's just
it's underneath that dude's robe. He just went in.
Oh, that's true. No, I think it opens a portal to some other dimension somewhere.
Some cat club somewhere.
Right? A cat club.
Some underground cat club.
Right? And then you notice there's no tables because they would just push everything off. So it's just a dance floor.
We're not using the P word.
All right. That's next. What what we got here? Let's see. Okay, so this was let me get out of this here for a second here. The main conversation we're going to have tonight deals with well, it says Festivus, because anybody that watched Seinfeld, and I used to really enjoy those shows, um, they made up a day called Festivus, and in order for uh, here, let me see if I can move. How do I move us off to the side? No, that's the wrong way. No, that's the other way. No, that's just me. There's no button like that. But the picture that I have there, it says, well, here, let me take you down for a second. Oh, that didn't help. I don't know what I'm doing. But there's been a contribution in your name to the Human Fund, Money for People. It's because he didn't have any way of like doing a gift, and so for Christmas he gave out Christmas cards and told people he gave donations, so he didn't have to spend any money, and he totally created this whole thing. And then what happened is he started getting donations, which is interesting because there's where do the donations go? I hear that from other things that we listen to, but so he has this fake charity Human Fund. Anyways, they have a thing. When he was growing up, his dad didn't like Christmas or whatever, and he came up with Festivus. And the reason I chose that is because all of the holidays that we celebrate, that we think are connected to whatever our traditions, a lot of them start at least in pagan history, or worse, in some satanic worships and stuff too. Mm-hmm. And what they've done over the years is they've rewritten our history, they've separated our elders, and people have lost our people. My people perish for lack of knowledge. I know it's now destroyed. I like it the old way. And that's the other thing, when people are saying you can't rewrite the word of God. You're right. This book's changing, but it's on my heart. I remember it was perish, and that's how I'm always going to say it. And if you're denying that, you're misleading your flock. But in any case, so we have no knowledge of what these different things mean. And we've discussed this before. The whole thing about Christmas, it has nothing to do with the birth of Jesus. And that you can find in the scriptures, because they had their flocks in the field at night, and you don't do that in the dead of winter. So it had to have been closer to what we're thinking is, sometime in March or April, when the new year was. And so the whole idea of Christmas has nothing to do with the birth of Christ. They took it in here. I think I have a video. Of course, I have Jen's. Let's see, which one is this? Let's see. Let me see if I have the right one here. Okay. So we'll start with this gentleman. Go over here. Okay. Now, when I show these, I don't necessarily agree with everything, but there's certain information here that I do think is...
And listen closely. Of your life every year. We're supposed to have 13 months of 28 days exactly, plus 1 day that represents the renewal. I mean, girls' periods are every 28 days. The ocean tides are every 28 days.
He's saying that women's menstrual cycles are 28 days. The ocean tides are 28 days.
The moon cycle is every 28 days.
Moon cycle.
Why do you think it's called a month? Because the original name was derived from the moon cycle, which was called a moon.
And a moon cycle is what we used to use, and they changed that to month instead of moon.
Every 28 days.
Every 28.
And I'm sure you've heard the idea that we live on the back of some cosmic turtle floating in outer space. It must be because turtles actually keep a calendar of this on their...
And this is true too, because on my turtle mark,
most turtles have 13 sections.
Well, not like this one, but they have the 13 sections, and then they also have the 28 symbolized here, and that matches up to
28 days around the rim. The Native Americans figured it out and used the turtle as calendar. The Bible even says
right here. Now, ask the animals and let them teach you. God does not deal with his creatures according to their character. Let's see, where is it? Who among all these does not recognize the hand of the Lord? Oh, it's not here, but it basically says even all the animals know who God is. And it would make sense that, like, it's represented on a turtle back, and that's why some of these cultures said that we live on the back of the turtle kind of idea.
As in Job 12, 7 through 10, that all creation knows that God made them. But why is the world distorted God's perfect calendar? And where did the 13th month go? Well, what does sept mean? September, sept is 7, October, oct is 8, November, novum, nov is 9, December, December means 10, but I thought December was the 12th month. Well, let's think about the first month. What does April mean? April is where we get the word aprilis, or aprio in Latin, which means to appear or to open. Yeah, April is the first month, it means to open. May is actually named after a demon or a god, a Nephilim. June is named after Janus, a god as well. July was renamed after Julius Caesar. It was originally Quintilis, which means 4, and August was renamed after Augustus Caesar, but it was originally Quintilis, and which means 5. And Julius Caesar was originally the one who renamed the start of the whole calendar to confuse you. And the missing month, the thing y'all are missing, Sextilis. I know, it's weird, but it means 6. September is now 7, October is now 8, November is 9, December is 10. January is named after god Janus. February is named after god Februus, and March is named after another god or demon, Mars, the god of war, who ends things. And what's that famous Shakespeare quote? Beware the Ides of March? Oh yeah. Shakespeare.
March Madness.
March Madness.
Boom, baby.
The Ides of March was originally related to a timeline, meaning celebration for the new year. So why'd they change it all? So our yearly calendar was supposed to start in April and end in March. And we were supposed to have 13 months of 28 days, which is 13 times 28 is 364, plus the one day, which represents renewal to make it 365. That day also represents resurrection. Now, what day did Jesus die? It's actually April 3rd that a lot of historians assume.
Now, I'm not sure of this, but, we can all make conjectures on when. But definitely we can say that he wasn't born over Christmas. And the months have been changed because of the Roman calendars and how
the only thing that Christmas is the winter solstice. That's all it is. It's a pagan holiday and festival. And the reason that they put Jesus' birthday there is because Christians would backslide and take part in these festivals. So that's why they put Jesus' birthday there. So they have a reason to celebrate as well. And we're going to go over all that when we play my video.
Yes, we're going to.
But the main holiday that just passed was the 4th of July. And we think we're celebrating our independence from England, but actually we're celebrating Lucifer's independence and being loosened from his chains. Every year we're doing this, and we're setting off fireworks in his honor. And it's just one more thing that we were born into, and we think that we're celebrating one thing, but it's deception. Clearly, we're not free from England. We still pay taxes to all these people and stuff like that. Nothing's changed. We're enslaved. And the only one that's been loosened and freed is Lucifer.
And RV Russian Vids, he just did a new video. Well, he's covered it many times over this holiday, but he just redid it again. And if you're not familiar with his channel, I'll show you in a second. But he covered that all the all the different symbolisms that you get with these fireworks stands. I mean, that's totally the triangle in the eye.
If God is just above the dome and he's looking down on us and he sees us every year shooting up these crazy fireworks, celebrating Lucifer's freedom, and we take our kids to these things and everything, it's really profane when you really sit down and look at what we've been doing. You know what I mean?
And as he said, it looks more like Halloween than it does anything else when you look at all these different names of the different boxes and fireworks.
Yeah.
God of fire.
See, it's so satanic.
How about that one? Demon fire.
And they're firing all this shit up at the dome. And what does he want to do? He wants to break the dome. He wants to be like the Most High. He wants to reclaim heaven as his own. That's why he wants this war in heaven. We're caught in the middle of this war.
Satanic desecration. How about that?
Unbelievable. Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying. It's like you don't have to. It's not even that hard to look. It's just.
Yeah, walk through any fireworks store. You'll see this, guys.
Yeah, this one's Diablo, which is devil.
Diablo is no bueno.
Here's Satan's fury, Satan's revenge, Satan's scandal. I don't know what the hell that means.
Is that? I don't even want to know.
I don't know. And then of course, Red Devil goes all the way back. And then
Screamers, all that stuff.
yeah, all the Red Devil, and he does his usual thing on all the symbolism. But it just goes on and on. There's nothing. And the pirate, of course, as he shows here, the pirate's flag, which is just a symbol of the Skull and Bones Society, which all the presidents and heads of state go through and stuff.
And pirates have their own code, and these people have their own codes that they follow as well. There's a code for the regular people, and then there's their code that they follow.
Right through the Devil's Revenge. This one, I guess, is just he's symbolizing the red and blue. I'm not sure. I should have listened to it again. But in any case, then of course Vegas, baby.
Sin City.
Sin City. Yeah. No, thank you. No bueno. My gosh. So, anyways, it just goes on and on.
What did that say? Devil on the Walk? Is that what it said?
Yeah, Devil on the Walk. Yeah.
And Essex? It looks like Essex.
Yeah, I think that's the company. Then you got the face of the devil. There's 20 shots in that one. The Red Devil.
Oh, man.
There's another one, Devil's Delight. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So the Cruelty Devil. And then I guess this one's, what is this, Devil's Cauldron? Where'd that go?
It would seem to me that America must have been something quite different during the millennial reign. And considering that all the World's Fair cities, star cities, I call them, because it just seems like, because we celebrate this in full force. We have the statue and everything. Wouldn't it be like Lucifer to take whatever was here before, this amazing place, whatever this place was called before we called it America and before it melted down and everything when the millennial reign was here, and come in and use it for his nefarious reasons and take over, and it's all for him,
100%. And like I said, all you got to do is just look at the names on these. I mean, it has nothing to do with America or freedom or any of the things that they say. All it is about Satan worship. They tell you straight up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's enough, but you get the picture. We know whose celebration this is. And as we've discussed, when you look at the Statue of Liberty, and it looks like Owen Wilson, but it also looks exactly like that old painting of Lucifer, or Satan summoning the minions or demons. Mm-hmm. And her foot is broken the chains because he's let loose for the short season or little season, whatever you want to call it. And that's what they're telling you. You're celebrating right here. So anyways, get rid of these witches. What kind of brew are they making here? All right. So that's They Live Truth is his channel. If you haven't checked him out, he's I find a lot of good information. I did a show with him. Hopefully do one with him again. All right. What's next? Christmas is a pagan holiday, not biblical. Now, this is the article that Jen said that she was using at one point. But this is Jen. She made this, and we're going to dissect it with Jen here. I think it's fantastic. I can't wait.
Guys, I made this video about, 3-4 years ago on my original channel. And that's the first time that I ever put something together like this and was trying to read and sound all like perfect. The phone rang at one point and it kind of aggravated me.
That's what endeared me to. That's what I'm saying. I used to watch you. And, I was learning how to do this stuff too. And so it's fun to see because, like I said, my old stuff I took down. Some was unwatchable. So, but yeah, here we go. We're stepping. Everyone, sit back, get your favorite cup of Joe, and let's listen to Jen discuss things in the past. So, what do they do? Here we go.
Hey everyone, I want to read you something real quick. The title of this article is called "The Surprising Truth: Christmas Once Banned."
Is there volume? You can hear it, everybody?
Yes, I can hear it good.
You're shaking your head, but I'm on a screen share. I had to look over here. So, okay, here we go.
In America. It may seem like Christmas has always been celebrated in the United States, but that's not the case. In fact, the joyous religious holiday was actually banned in America for several decades by Christians themselves. The original war on Christmas was waged during the 16th and 17th century by Puritans, or Protestant Christians, who believed that people needed strict rules to be religious and that any kind of merrymaking was sinful.
Okay, I just want to say, I'm loving the graphics. I don't know how you did it. Way
Thank
to
you.
go.
It's all Power Director.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah.
Cyberlink by Power Director, but still loving it. But yes, this is okay. Moving on.
Shocking as it may sound, followers of Jesus Christ in both America and England helped pass laws making it illegal to observe Christmas, believing it was an insult to God to honor a day associated with ancient paganism.
That's my favorite part. The phone rings. You're muted if you're talking.
No, I know. I just go ahead.
So yeah, isn't that interesting? Did you hear what she said, Jen? Other Jen said, I guess that's Gen 1.0 and you're 2.0, but
That's
Gen
right.
1.0 said that shockingly that they were banning, it's like Footloose. They were banning anything that had to do with Christmas because they knew better. But over a period of years, as I'm sure Gen 1.0 will tell us, we've lost that technology and they decided not to build it back. So here we go. I want to hear
Most
the phone call
Americans
again. I want to hear
observe
the phone
Christmas, believing it was an insult to God to honor a day associated with ancient paganism.
Hello?
I was on a roll too. Americans today are unaware that Christmas was banned in Boston from 1659 to 1681. All Christmas activities, including dancing, seasonal plays, games, singing carols, cheerful celebrations.
It is Footloose. That's the plot to Footloose. All right, keep going. Sorry, I keep interrupting Gen 1.0.
And especially drinking were banned by Puritan dominant Parliament of England in 1644.
And that's another thing. Don't you? People expect at Christmas time an office party, everyone gets hammered, and God says, "Stay sober." Yeah, of course He handed out wine, but He just said, "Hey, have a little to take the edge off, but don't get drunk like that." Yeah. And of course they celebrate Christmas by making sure everyone gets completely wasted, right?
Puritans of New England following suit. Christmas was outlawed in Boston, and Plymouth colonies made celebrating Christmas a criminal offense. Christmas trees and decorations were considered to be unholy pagan rituals.
I stopped it because tell me about this picture.
Yeah, so for the customs of the people are, I can't see, I gotta make it big on my end here.
Oh, I can read
it. Tells you the whole thing about the tree. It says, people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it may not move. And this is from Jeremiah 10:18. And it tells you right there what the pagans do and why they're doing it and stuff, and that we are not to do this.
Yep. And you put into the roots as the winter festival, Saturnalia, Mithra, Nimrod, and Tammuz. So right. So
that's
And I do have this passage. We're going to go over that, but yeah. Okay.
And the Puritans also banned traditional Christmas foods such as mince pie and pudding. Puritans' laws required that store businesses remain open all day on Christmas, and town criers walked through the streets on Christmas Eve calling out, "No Christmas."
Okay. So she's got on here, mistletoe is the pagan fertility ritual. And just jump in here if anything you want to expand on. Tree decorations, the lights and bauble are the Roman Saturnalia tradition. Tell me about that one, if you remember that.
Well, that represents the snake in the tree.
Correct. The tinsel.
It all began with a snake in a tree, right? And then you got the gifts as a Babylonian tradition, and it's also from Saturnalia as well, where they exchange gifts and have feasts.
And then you got the angel on top, which is derived from
Greek and Assyrian gods.
The tree itself is a pagan fertility symbol. In fact, they
Mhm.
used to think when they came up with this evergreen idea,
Mhm.
they saw that in the winter there were certain trees that stayed green.
Mhm.
And so the idea was if you cut one of these down and you brought it into your home, whatever life force that it had that was keeping it green would help out your home too. And
Right.
so that
Well, the fertility part of it is because the tree is pointed. It's like a pindar, and so it represents the penis. It's a phallic symbol, and then you have the reef, and they use the reef as the sacred feminine, and you got the tree as the masculine. So kind of goes through. You know what I mean? So you hang the reef on the door, you get the tree in your house. It's a phallic symbol, and then you put balls on your tree. Well, penises have balls, so there's that.
there's that.
And then the Yule log symbols Mithra, the god of the sun. So they always show the Christmas tree with the garland and the balls and the fire going and everything like that. Everything that they show, everything that everybody participates in Christmas has nothing to do with Jesus and everything to do with these false gods.
And I stand corrected on myself. There's a lot of people that believe, like you say here, most likely he was born in September, and that is possible too. Because if he was born, say, on a certain day in September, maybe like the 11th day,
Mm-hmm.
in Satan's world, you would definitely make that the worst day anyone could ever think of, instead of the most amazing day.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but that's kind of where I'm hitching my horse at this point. And then that potentially would mean, say, April 1st, maybe he did get resurrected around there, and that's why you have new life uh, every spring, maybe. But
Yeah, I
oh,
explained it in the video here with this
oh,
whole
you do?
this whole
Oh, okay.
winter solstice, and this whole ritual is about nudging spring on to come sooner.
All right,
Because
here we
that's
go.
what happens after the solstice.
No,
The sun starts getting closer again.
no Christmas. No Christmas. In England, the ban on the holiday was lifted in 1660 when Charles II took over the throne. However, Puritan presidents remained in New England, and Christmas did not become a legal holiday until 1856. Even then, some schools continued to hold classes on December 25th until 1870. In 1836, Alabama became the first state to make Christmas a legal holiday. Wow, what a surprise there.
Yeah,
Other
I like that. Because that's what we find when you research things. Sometimes they always seem to hit near home, or
Mhm.
whatever. I thought that's interesting. And
Yeah.
another interesting thing about this is I looked into the crappy thing that we got, because as a Jewish kid growing up, we didn't get Christmas. We got
Mhm.
Hanukkah or Chanukah. I mean, there's so many ways to spell it with an H or CH, and don't even get me started. And it moves around, but they usually try to have it right around the same time as this, and it was a completely made up holiday. I understand they wrap it around. There was this story of the oil in the candle, whatever, that went for 8 days, and it was only had enough oil for one. And I get the whole symbolism behind it, but I'm telling you, the our holiday was made up, and I can prove it because in the 70s is when in America we started celebrating it. It got introduced to the White House, I think, in the 50s or 60s. But a president, right around the time I was a kid in the early 70s, he started making it a national holiday in America.
Mhm.
And all the little Jewish kids, we were thrilled because, Christmas didn't mean anything to us, but Hanukkah, well, not only did sometimes we get our presents before school let out, or definitely before the Christian kids did, um, but we got 8 days, right? And they, just to stick it to them, we got 8 days of presents. And in
Yeah,
addition to that, talking about making,
sometimes we get 8 days worth of presents.
oh
My
yeah,
mom doesn't have that kind of money.
oh yeah. Well, but think about it. On Christmas, a lot of people got more than one present, so we just got a
Just
single
space it
present.
out on. Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. And my parents, they used to do this cool thing. We had one of those really old stereo systems that here, let me stop Jen for a second so I can see you. Like to see who I'm talking to. I don't even know where you are. Here you are. We'll come back to Gen 1.0. We had this really long stereo cabinet. It had the speakers in it, and it had the had like a radio console with a what do you call it, turntable, and you lifted the center thing, and you had to turn it on and wait for it to like heat up, like the test tubes or something had to warm up.
Yeah, you can hear them.
Yeah,
Kind of going off.
right. It's so beautiful. But my parents would take all the 8 presents that I got and the ones that my brother got, and put them on, wrap them up, and put them on top of the stereo. So we had to stare at them, and each night you got to pick one. And no matter what you picked, then you had to stare at the other ones and go, oh, I wish maybe I should have got that one, you know? I don't know. But in any case, the holiday, and it sucks too, because like all the Christian kids or whatever, you guys have so many great songs, right? You got White Christmas, and you got Elvis singing them. Heck, you even stole our people, right? Neil Diamond's Christmas album and Barbra Streisand's Christmas album, right? You took our people. We had shitty Hanukkah songs. Okay, what we had, dreidel, dreidel. I made it out of clay. And talk about pushing a stereotype. You know what they do with dreidel? They give you it's betting. It's you take a dreidel, and it has, I think, 4 sides, has a different Hebrew letter on it, gimel and out, and I don't know. And depending when you spun it, it would land. And then, hey, you all, stop it down there. I'm doing a show. Jeez. Anyways, you'd spin this thing, and they gave you gold coins. I mean, talk about continuous stereotype. They were chocolate, but they were wrapped in gold foil. And so you'd miser some coins, and then you'd spin this stupid little thing. And then depending on what it falls, either you had to give the other guy a coin, or you took his coin, or you get all the coins.
So it's kind of like spin the bottle.
Yeah, only with money, right? But here's the thing. I think I was I perfected it because I was so Jewish that I didn't even gamble my coins. I just kept them and ate them. I mean, why do I want to gamble them away? It was a stupid game anyway. Right? We have no good songs. What do we have? We have Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party. We'll all dance the Torah. They're terrible.
Yeah, I'd like to hear Mariah Carey sing that one.
Oh my God! Exactly. Right. We didn't have any. We didn't have
millions of dollars every year off that Christmas song. She
all we got was Adam Sandler, but that was way after my childhood, you know, and so that didn't help. So no, it's a complete made up holiday just to satisfy, just like they keep doing. Then we have a new one that came out, and I'm not saying the ideas, the traditions, and whatever behind it, but the fact that we keep getting these holidays suddenly thrown into our I don't know, what do you want to call it, our universe. It's artificial like everything else. And so they want to push this loving this and Christmas and presents, and they want to do it with all the different races and religions and make sure we all stay focused on that month.
Yeah.
So, all right, where's Jen?
Yeah, the rest of the video, I explained the other the other gods and how they all relate to this.
All right. Here we go.
States followed suit. Even Massachusetts legalized Christmas in 1856, almost 200 years after its ban. But the last state, Oklahoma, did not join until 1907. Pagan Christmas traditions. Yule festivals are a mixture of customs and beliefs going back many years before Jesus was born. Saturnalia was a festival held between the 17th and 24th of December, which began in the days of the Roman Empire. This was a week of feasting, gift-giving, and an excuse for an orgy during the winter solstice. The objective to the debauchery and dancing around was to give the sun a nudge and send a message to Mother Earth to begin reproducing for the spring. This seemed to work out quite well because sure enough, in the spring, things started to grow. The traditional Christmas colors of red and green, being complementary colors, represents male and female fertility and incubation. Pagan decorations still seen around Christmas include red berries and green leaves of holly, mistletoe, and wreaths. The Christian adoption of this pagan holiday, celebrating the winter solstice, was in honor of the pagan god Mithra, and therefore forbidden by the early church. But customs survived anyway, and it didn't take much to tempt Christians to join others enjoying the solstice feast.
Mm-hmm.
This no doubt prompted the church to provide an alternative festival in honor of the birth of Christ, where celebrations were definitely in order, and happily the date chosen by the church more or less coincided with the existing feast, which lessened the temptation for Christians to backslide. In the 2nd century, the winter solstice was January 6th, and Christians celebrated both the birth and the appearance of God's Son on that day, Epiphany Day. By the 4th century, the date for the winter solstice had moved to December 25th, and Pope Julius I declared that Jesus' birthday celebration would also be on that day.
So he just made it up.
Yep.
What are you doing? Boom, baby.
This efficiently transformed the pagan occasion into a Christian holy day or holiday. This was not, however, merely a convenient way to Christianize a pagan celebration. There is nothing to prove what date Jesus was born on, or the season, or even the year. But the church, after immense deliberation over the available evidence, decided on the December 25th date.
And
Well,
I
there
like
you have it.
it says like, share, and follow, but the channel's been long terminated.
Yes.
This is like your first channel.
Yeah, that was the first channel.
But yeah, if you want to, you can go look for this on Odyssey. I can throw the link in here.
Yep, I threw it in as well. I have a copy to paste it. I'll throw it in right now.
Okay, good.
Boom,
And it's on a thing called Odyssey.
Yeah,
What?
I got the original article as well that I read from. I'll put that in there.
Okay. Yeah, but it's on a channel called Odyssey that, as Brian told me, it's where videos go to die. So I have an Odyssey channel. I don't think I have put anything on
I have it there.
Yeah, but it's nice that you have that. Yeah. So, okay, what's next? Oh, and this was the article. You already put it in there, right? Okay. All right. So we got that. Thank you, Gen 1.0. And then there's this guy, Bobby's perspective.
Aware with the historicity of Christmas, the pagan influence on Christmas, the changing.
I love that word, historicity. The first time I heard it, Phil Valentine.
Sorry, I'm trying to get him to stop. What?
It's a really good word, and nobody ever really uses it.
Historicity.
Yeah.
It's like you're
I personally, coming from an Orthodox Christian background, am very well aware with the historicity.
Historicity,
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a word at first when I first heard it, and I thought this guy was just making up, but it's a word.
Nice. And he's got good graphics going too.
Yeah.
Of Christmas, the pagan influence on Christmas, the changing of dates especially as well. If you look into Roman Catholicism, you will see that Christmas is on the 24th to 25th of December. However, in Orthodox Christianity, it is on the 6th to 7th January. So there you can see already a discrepancy within the alleged date of Jesus's.
When they had it in January, they called it Epiphany Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mentioned in my video.
You did. I know you covered it perfect. He might fill in a few dots, but you had all crossed the T's and everything. I love that video. I love the phone call too.
I was so mad.
I don't blame you, but now it's.
No.
I know, but it was a good break. It's all right.
Birth. The two churches already do not agree what the real birth date is. Moreover, if you look into the 24th, the 25th, you will see that this was the winter solace. So this was a holiday for the pagans of the Roman Empire. And once the Roman Empire became Christian, they adopted Christianity as their state religion. They simply replaced their old holidays with new ones and renamed them.
Same idea, just a updated version. But Okay. And then this is Jeremiah chapter 10, where he says, he's talking to us saying, hey, listen to me. Um, Learn not the way of the heathen. And I keep discussing it. A heathen is just someone that does not believe in the God of the Bible or Jesus. They either don't believe in God, or they believe in some other pagan gods or Roman gods or Greek gods or something. And our people perish for lack of knowledge. There's one God who created this whole thing, and he doesn't like when you do these things. And he tells you, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the custom of the people are vain. One cutteth a tree out of the forest, and work the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails, with hammers, that it not move. And so the takeaway on this is what I want to say is this: we live in this world, we're not of it. We're supposed to be, and I've got this passage too. It's in Romans. We're supposed to be of the spirit, not of the flesh, because the flesh is what always gets us in trouble. And so, how do you do Christmas when you have family and relatives, and you don't want to think that you're completely crazy if they already didn't? And so what you can do is do what you feel is comfortable for that situation. What we've done is we don't do the whole cut the tree and bring it inside type of thing, but we still have celebration with our children because they want to. And so I'll put on the Christmas music. So I won't put on the Hanukkah ones because they're stupid. And they are, whatever. And as far as the tree, we have lots of trees. In fact, one time we just took the top of it and set it outside, and you could put lights on that. Now, I know you're still saying, hey, he's telling you not to do that. Well, I'm trying to work around things. And then we can always just put lights on a living tree out there. So, are we still celebrating it? I think it's about intent. If you don't know you're doing things and you're celebrating these things, then you kind of have a pass until you wake up, until God opens your eyes. But once your eyes are open and you know you're doing things that might not be pleasing, pick your battles and repent on things that are necessary. And if you need to live in this world, and do it, and like, don't beat yourself up over everything we just told you. If Now the fireworks one, I think my whole life I thought, I mean, other than being a kid, it was fun. But once I was an adult and had family and had to take care of them and stuff, I didn't have all that extra money to just literally blow up and throw away. It's like
Right.
going to Vegas, the same thing. I didn't have that, and so I still don't understand why people spend so much money just to blow it up. And now that I know that it's celebrating, most likely Lucifer is let loose. So it's like Stockholm syndrome. The prisoners are celebrating their captors. I just can't get into it. And if that makes me a sourpuss, then I'm sorry.
I
But
learned
yeah, go ahead.
I learned this stuff about Christmas actually 20 years ago. My husband and I have been married for 18 years. We've been together 20 years. And right when we got married, I started learning all this stuff. I applied it to my life. My kids were still young then, but that was the first year we were married was the first tree that we had in our apartment at the time. And then we learned about Christmas. And every year after that, I never got a tree again. I never did decorations, no decorations or nothing. I have dinner. I usually just would give my kids $100 each, and they could just get whatever they wanted, whatever. I just didn't do it anymore. I didn't send out anything anymore, and I haven't. It's quite liberating, actually. But when you see everybody out there who are Christian, and they're doing all this stuff, but you see them doing the same stuff that the pagans do, and they literally have no idea. And sometimes I would try to impart this knowledge on people. I remember one time I was at the post office mailing something, had this huge conversation with a lady about Christmas, and she was like shocked, actually. There was one year when we did stop at my husband's aunt's house, and we told her about Christmas, and it was at Christmas time, and she loves Christmas. She literally almost threw us out of her house.
Right.
Don't mess with her
Yeah.
Christmas, right?
It is tough, like I said, especially if you have little ones or grandkids, and I get it.
Yeah.
It's not easy, this walk that we do. And so the takeaway is this: we're discussing these things, and do what you can. But then again, it's about intent. And so, like Jen said, like we have so many children that most of the time my wife makes things because she's really talented that way, or we get the same thing kind of for everyone and call it a day. But we mostly have a nice dinner, celebrate, kids come over, and we just have like a family day.
Yeah.
We don't have to make it all about this holiday that has become all about the flesh and the world, because it's Black Friday and this Saturday and this Monday, and it's all about buying the most stuff and running up the credit cards and getting the new car and all that stuff. And it's all worldly possessions that when you're dead, you can't take any of them with you. And so it's like you just got to work through it. And I know it's tough, because then there's going to be people going, "Oh, well, I can't do that because and I get it, I understand. And so, as my dad would say, pick your battles and try to work through it.
Worship two gods. They're trying to
True.
celebrate Jesus' birthday, and plus they're, worshiping Lucifer at the same time.
Well, I still think we're in the fence sitting time, because eventually we won't be allowed to sit on the fence, and God says you have to choose and you have to make up your mind. And I believe we're still in that time where we have hope that other people are going to figure this stuff out, and before we go into wherever we're heading. That's what I think we're in. We're in that fence sitting. And I saw some people discussing some things in there, and I think it was Jenny that, yeah, I haven't gotten all the exact ones on that. But yeah, I definitely, we do Passover and do something for Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur, but it's tough trying to get all those dates. And they move around too, and there's what, Purim and Sukkot and all this stuff, and I don't even know them all. So I just try to do the best I can, and God says to keep his days holy. So do the best you can. And if, let's say, you have to work on Sabbath, which is Saturday, to provide for your family. Well, there's stories where Jesus says, hey, if the sheep takes off on the day, you're just going to let it die, you're going to go for it. And it's the same idea. Like, if you have to do work that day to survive, to help your family, then choose another day, quiet time, and just talk with God. And don't do as here. I even have this passage. Where is it? It's where is it? Yeah, it's Jesus talking. It's in Matthew. And where is it? Click. Oh, you have something you want to share? I just saw that. Okay. Here, take heed that you don't do your alms before men to be seen of them. Otherwise, you have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. And alms is like giving. If you give to people, you don't have to be boastful and do a live stream and show everyone how much money you give of the money you collected from other people. He says, do it in private. When you do it, don't sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and the streets, that they have made glory of men. Verily, and that's when he says, I want you to really listen to this. I say unto you, they have their reward. But when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth. Right? And that's where that saying comes from. This all comes from the Bible, all these sayings. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing. That thy alms would be in secret. Their Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. So when you're giving, you're not supposed to do it so you can boast and say, look at me, how much I give. You're supposed to just do it, and you're supposed to do it in your heart, and do it in ways that nobody else might ever know except the person that received the gift, maybe not even that person, but it's between you and God. That's what he's saying. And the same with praying. When thou's praying, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are. They love to pray standing in synagogues and the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. So it's not just that he's talking about synagogues, but we're talking the churches, the mosques, the temple, wherever people go to pray. They put on their best outfits and they make sure everyone sees them, and they toss
Mhm.
money at the church or the synagogue. And look how much my donation is. I got a window, or I got a park bench because we give so much, kind of thing. He's
Yeah.
like, don't do that's not what he's saying when he's saying give a gift. And the
Right.
same with praying. When you do it, and this is how I started my prayer with God, enter into the closet. So you can go into, I chose a bathroom because I could shut the door with the lights and nobody could come in. And I had a dark. And when you has shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. Okay. And then here's another thing. When you go to, at least growing up in temple, I'm sure they do it in churches too. They repeat passages, or
Mhm.
they do this. They say something, and then the congregation says something, and
Yes.
and it's just over and over the same prayers and passages. And then
Mhm.
you read the Bible, and he says not to do that. It's like they don't even read the books. They
Yeah.
don't read the Torah, and they don't read the Bible. And there's even many shows that discuss the Bible, and they don't read it. It's obvious.
Mhm.
And so when it says here, when you pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking. In other words, God's saying, I don't care how much you say these prayers every Sunday and throw money at some temple or church.
Right.
You can go home and watch football, which we, show they fake that. It's all just lip service. Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things you need of before you ask him. Now, isn't that a kick? He knows what you're going to ask before you ask him. He's
Okay.
wanting to see how you're going to deal with it. Are you going to ask him? Are you going to try to do it yourself? Are you going to manifest your own destiny and become like God, like Satan, even though they call it New Age? That was Satan's idea. And or are you going to talk to him? Are you going to ask for him, his help? Because that's what he's there for. So
Mhm.
then what does he do? That's where he comes with his famous prayer. Because they asked him, hey, when you're gone, Jesus, how do we pray to God?
Yep.
And so he says, well, don't just do the same prayer, but here, after this manner, therefore pray ye. And then he gives the prayer, the Lord's Prayer. But it was an example.
Mhm.
He wasn't saying, okay, every house you build, make it exactly like this house I'm going to show you. He said,
Right.
here's an example of a house. Now
Yeah.
go make your own houses.
Yep.
And that's why this is so important, to show you that it's changed. And if you're deceiving your flock and saying that's not, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I read it the right
Can we
way.
pause right there?
Yeah, it's
I was
me.
I was I was watching I was watching the interview with Bob Dylan, where he talks about how he did what he did and made a deal with the devil to get to where he is now.
Uh-huh.
And when the guys asked him, who did you make this deal with, and he's like, well, the chief commander in this earth and in the world, we can't say, but he
Mm-hmm.
says in
Yeah,
earth, like in this earth.
exactly.
And it reminded me when I heard it the other night of this right here, where it says in earth as it is in heaven.
Right. Because why is he talking about in earth? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a subtle change, but it's a change. And it's not
In and
because I
on are
knew.
two different things.
Yeah. And it's funny because they always throw at me, like this show I was just on not too long ago. They said that I didn't know this passage well enough, and I was confusing it with like some Christian songs. I just got done telling you I didn't know the Christian songs other than Let It Snow and stuff. We were singing these stupid Hanukkah songs. It even sounds like you're about to spit. Hanukkah. Hanukkah. Okay. Um, Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. It's the only reason I knew that word as a kid, as we forgive our trespassers. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. And as I've talked with Jan and other people, there was a period in time when I was struggling with this last word, amen. Because when I started praying, I hadn't done it before. And
Mhm.
so my prayer started out like, in my mind, it was like a phone call to God, right? Like, hey, God, it's me. Like that's what my mom
Yeah.
would do. I can see it's her, and her face comes up, and her phone number's like, "Hi, it's me." Okay. So that's what I was saying to God. Hey, it's me. He's like, "Okay, yeah, I know."
Like, I know it's you.
Yeah. And I was like, "Okay," and I talked to him, and then I say, "Well, now what? How do I end this? Like, is that what amen is? Like, you hang up the phone?" And so I'd say amen. And then, of course, and it's in the Bible and all that. Then, of course, you watch enough streams, and they start telling you, "Oh, don't say that. It's you're praying to Amun Raman or somebody."
Amun Ra, yeah.
Yeah, and so it was affecting my prayer because I get to the finish line and I'd stumble, and then I realized the God that I believe in, the one that I know can still talk to me through this book, no matter how it gets changed. You don't think that when I do this beautiful prayer, and I know it was beautiful, when I do this beautiful prayer and I get to the ending and I say, in Jesus' name, amen, he's going to go, "Oh, I thought you were talking to me. You had me on the prayer, but you didn't stick the landing." And no.
We should say hallelujah at the end of the prayer.
And that's another beautiful thing. They took that out of the Bible too. I covered that. It's not in there. And yet it used to be, if you look at articles, they say it's in Psalms constantly. Well, I can't find it in the KJV anymore. There's hallelujah with an A once or so, but yeah, hallelujah, I couldn't find.
Hallelujah.
But yeah, so as far as that goes, what I'm saying is this. The proper way to pray is whatever works for you. Just tell him what's in your heart. And sometimes you don't need to make a whole big thing about it. You can be out for a walk and you can just talk to God in your head. I mean, you can do it out loud, just make sure nobody's watching. But you can have private conversations like that. Maybe sometimes you feel the urge that you want to go, was it postulate, where they face to the floor? I mean, they did that in the Bible when they were really like depressed or distressed or needing something or thankful. And one of the ways that I have God in my life all the time is I'm thanking him for everything. I mean, think about it. Not just that you woke up this morning. Raise a hands in the chat. You don't have to. I'm just kidding. How many people had a hot water today? Like that's such a blessing if you have hot water. If you've taken cold showers, they're no bueno. I mean, you can, but they're just way better with warm water or hot water. And so just a simple thing like that we take for granted, and yet we have. And so rather than look at all the negative things, because there's a lot of negative stuff flying around in our lives right now, count your blessings. Look at all what I used to call luck or good fortune, and call them a blessing from God, because that's what it is. He's walked with you this whole time. He knows everything that you've done, and he still loves you, and he's still waiting for you to either keep doing what you're doing or change your ways if you haven't talked to him. And it's so easy to do, just like we read. You don't have to go to church or temple. You don't have to pay anybody any money. There's no special stream you're going to see about it. You just take a moment of your time, your busy time, and you spend it with God. You close that door where no one can come in, and you talk to him. And you ask if he's real, if you haven't made that connection. So, all right, what are you saying, Jen?
Okay, so I have a screen share up here. I'll show you guys. Okay. Let me go over here first to Isaiah 11:6. So we all know that this has been Mandela affected. It says the wolf will live with the lamb. And now that's different for me. It said dwell, and this is KJV. So I don't know if this is another change. This is New International Version. So maybe that's why it says.
Well, I have to look. Yeah, because I only do KJV.
Right.
One of those.
New International Version. So the wolf.
You can click it. You can change it.
Can I hear it? Let me
see. On that button. Find KJV. Keep going. No, that was another. That's the wrong one.
Okay, the wolf shall also dwell with the lamb.
You still have the wrong version.
Okay, but that's okay though. It says dwell.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the New King James Version.
Yeah, there's a KJV.
All right, hold on. Let me see this. This
yeah, go a little higher, maybe, or low.
What the heck is that?
All the way up. No?
All the way up?
Yeah, keep going. There, I saw it.
Hold on. Oh, here.
Right there.
Here. I got you.
There we go.
The wolf shall also dwell with the lamb.
Hey, but at least we're apples and apples, so nobody can say, "Oh, you're reading."
All right, you're right.
They throw that at me too. They go, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing." No,
so my one thing that I say all the time, besides "Let it not be said that we stood by and did nothing," is "You will know them by their fruits." And I've never really read that passage, but we're going to take
I
a look
actually
at it.
have it up.
Yes, I have it. And the interesting thing about this passage is it talks about a wolf. So we're going to go over here to Matthew.
I think it's 7, right?
7. Matthew 7 says, "You will know them by their fruits. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves." You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. But look at that. It says, "Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves."
Mhm.
Over here we have the wolf dwelling with the lamb now. Right there. So I just put that connection together today, and I had to share that with you guys because
No, thank you. And that's part of the thing. We've talked about this quantum effect, that some of the things are to like wake us up to things. And instead of the lion laying with the lamb, which would be quite an event, it's now a normal thing where the wolf dwells with the lamb, and it's more of a warning. I know that I don't believe that God is changing this book. I believe he's allowing it to be changed. And I think that our villain of this story, we give way more credit to. And I don't believe, I know he's incredibly intelligent, but there's things that happen that are almost out of his control. And the fact that we're getting warned now by this wolf dwelling rather than the lying laying, it's a huge change.
Oh yeah.
And I believe that it is steered in a way to help us.
So here I have a thing up here. It talks about God's holidays. It says the Bible does in fact mention Christmas and Easter and certain other familiar holidays, but it bluntly condemns them as heathen customs. Heathen customs.
Mm-hmm.
Proof is overwhelming that these days are traditions and commandments of men, but the vast multitudes keep them anyway, seemingly content to worship Christ in vain.
Yeah. That's why it's tough. Like I said, you've got family and stuff, and it's one more thing to make them like question you on. But yeah, it's totally the wrong celebration.
Absolutely. And I'm going to drop this back in here, the Christmas video again for everybody. And also my channel link, because I have a new channel. My other channel got taken down, guys. If you have not heard about that or you're not subbed and belled yet to my new channel, they took me down the other day, and all my stuff's all gone. Starting over again. As usual, channel number 7, I think. I'm not sure.
And as far as where did I see it? Rethink. Yeah, I did a show. I thought it went really well. And the very next night, they basically, if you watch their show at the last, I don't know, half hour, they just rail into me, say that I have not been reading the Bible long enough, which I have. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I read it daily. They don't. Who knows?
You know, the fact that they read it daily and they're such biblical scholars and they can't see these changes is disturbing.
I don't think they read it daily. That's the thing. I think there's a lot of people that say they read the Bible, but they don't read it. They want to. How about this? In school, we were taught to memorize things. I talked about this a little bit, I think, last week. You know, we were taught to memorize and regurgitate. And if you're going to go and read passages to memorize, to regurgitate, well, when they change, you're not going to see it.
Yep.
Whereas God says that there'll be, and I think it's in Amos 8 or so, it says there'll be a day when there'll be a famine in the land, not a food or water. It's the word of God. You'll look for it and not find it. And so if all you're doing is reading this and regurgitating things, when the changes happen, you'll change your speech. But that's not what God says. He says, well, you won't even need this. You should have it written on your heart. And that's
when you sing your favorite song, you don't got to look up the lyrics to it. You know that song.
Exactly.
And you would know if it changed if you heard it on the radio.
And so that's why whatever we want to call us, we're here as witnesses to speak out and say, it used to say this, It's like the book of Eli. We remember it. It's on our heart the way it should be, and it's changing. And if you're going to tell me that the wolf has always dwelled with the lamb and it wasn't a lion, and it's because of some song I never heard of, well, who's deceiving who now? And I was told that not only did I not understand it or read it well enough, they said I was doing demonic practices with the ME. They said they mocked me. The guy in the hat mocked me. I mean, these were people that I used to not idolize, but really look up to their information and stuff.
Yeah,
But
can I
that's
just
not a
put
Christian.
a
You don't
screen
sit there
share
and
in
mock
as you're
someone.
talking? Can I screen share real quick?
No. Of course.
You can keep talking. I'm just going to show this.
Well, that's it. I was just saying they mocked me and they said that I was deceiving and dangerous when I say it's the opposite. I say that if you're pretending or if you don't see it and you're telling your flock they're crazy, you're pushing them away. I'm telling people, if this book keeps changing, you better get your nose in it now before it gets really unlegible. There's a whole passage that bothered me recently, Jen. It was in I've been reading Kings. And what did you want to show here? Oh, all the people getting tattoos of the lion and the lamb.
Yeah. I mean,
They made a mistake.
what a mistake this is. You know what I'm saying? Did they all get it wrong too? Where's the wolf? I'm just saying, you know. Can you see it now? Am I on screen?
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm gonna zoom in a little here. Get a good look. Lion and lamb, lion and lamb, lion and lamb, lion and lamb, lion and lamb.
And there's stores that are lion and lamb. There's everything's lion and lamb. And it's, again, I don't know this song everyone keeps talking about.
Look at this one, a whole back tattoo. Boy, did this guy get it wrong. Where's the wolf?
Oh, okay, that one says Romans though, so we have to look that one up. I mean,
Romans 1:16.
I have Romans up, but I'll look for that one. But yeah. So where were we at? Where was it? Let me get rid of this one.
Lion and lamb, all lion and lamb. There's no wolf here. There's no wolf. Oh, look. What's this? Oh, that's just a lion with its cubs. Never mind. Sorry, I got excited there for a second. I thought about something. But no, I mean, look, even here, look, lion and lamb with the crosses in the background. That's pretty tight tattoo. I like that.
Yeah. Or they're yellow wolves, I guess.
Look at this.
Okay.
They got it all wrong. Everybody got it wrong. So there's that.
Yeah, and here, how about this? Well, I covered these last week. If I can find it here. All right, let me pull this up here.
I have to use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll see if I can find these things. It might take me that long. Clickety click somewhere here. Oh yeah, how about this? Oh, we can play our new drop. Someone should be fired.
Someone should get fired over this, right?
Here.
When the lion will lay down with the lamb.
There is no sorrow or suffering. By and lies with the lamb.
And the lion shall lie down with the lamb.
That was someone's getting fired, is what that was.
No, because it's here, let me drop this out. Hey everybody. No, it was just disturbing to me. Sorry. It's just I felt attacked. And it's just because they don't see the changes or they refuse to see them. And so I had no idea it would become hostile, but apparently it did for them. But all I can say is this: use your discernment when you're shopping around for the shows that you watch, because I do it. I'm not here to make, I'm not, obviously I make a little money. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to make friends. I feel it in my heart, as Jen does, to do this. And I'm seeing the changes. And so I'm letting people know that I'm seeing the changes. And why am I seeing the changes? Because I don't just say I have a Bible sitting in my house. I read it all the time. If not this one, I listen to it. And that's what I was going to tell you. I was reading this passage of Kings, and it really bothered me. And now, see, Kings is a book that a lot of people don't spend much time in. And it's interesting because it goes over that, and also I think was it Chronicles, they go over all the different kings that we've had. And I was reading Second Kings, and it's at the part where let's see if I can find this. Elijah, it's right before or right after he gets taken up, and there's another dude named Elisha. And here, let me bring up the passage here. Because it does get confusing. Everyone's either the same name or similar names. I've now found other people named Jesus, which was a new one for me.
What?
Yeah. In my, and someone said they had an old Bible. I have it too. I have a 1880 Bible, and Jesus is in there now as a different Jesus. So it's in the apothecary books or something. But I never knew of another guy.
Apocryphal.
Thank you. I can never say that word. That one and cognitive dissonance. Sometimes I say it, but that was a tough one for me.
I like that for the ancient sites. I like Ollanta Tambo.
Ooh. And then that new one you had today, was it Historia or something? What was it?
Historicity.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And so here's the part where Elijah, he's this guy, and he's just about to be taken up in the whirlwind. He's like one of the only people that doesn't die, and he gets taken right up, and we cover him at Passover too. And so Elijah is with another dude named Elisha, okay? And he says, he wants him to wait here because he's supposed to go to Jericho. And he's like, no, I want to go with you. And so they get to the River Jordan. And this was interesting. He takes his mantle, which is like, it's a special kind of like religious scarf for the holy people like him. Mm-hmm. And he takes it and he smashes it down on the ground by the river. And just like Moses, he parts the waters right here and divide hither and thither, and they go across. And so then Elijah's like, okay, you've hung out with me and done all these things. What can I do for you? Because he knows he's about to get taken out. And he says, look, I want to have, if I can, a double portion of your spirit on me. Because he was like this amazing guy back in the day. And Elijah literally says in the next passage, well, that's a tough order. I'll see. He says, I'll tell you what, if you see me disappear going to God, then you get your wish. And if not, then, hey, tough stuff. And and so he says, so of course he does. Right then he gets taken up, and he's in the chariot of fire, the horses of fire, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's quite an amazing sight. And he goes in a whirlwind into heaven, right? And so Elijah sees it. So it means he's going to get the stuff that he asked for. So it's pretty cool. So he ends up, he drops the, what do you call it? The mantle, and Elisha picks it up, and let's see, where is he? Then what does he say? Let's see. He goes back and he tells him what he saw and all this, and it's and supposedly he's creating things. He throws salt here and there, and he heals some waters that used to be barren, and so he's starting to do like miracles and stuff too, right? And that's where the passage I kind of remember he ends, and it says, and so the waters were healed unto this day, according to the saying of Elijah which he spake. And then all of a sudden, now I don't know, not saying it's quantum effect or not, but I have problems with this part from here on out. Then he went up thence. This is Elisha, right? Mm-hmm. He just got the same power of God that Elijah had.
Uh-huh.
He went up thence to Bethel. As he's going by the way, there came forth little children out of the city. And they mocked him and said to him, go up, thou bald head. Go up, thou bald head.
What?
Then
that don't sound right.
Oh, it gets worse. He goes all Anakin Skywalker on him. He turns back, he looks at him, curses them in the name of the Lord. Okay, what? Time out. Not happening, but we'll keep going. And 2 she-bears came out of the wood. I don't know what the
hell is a she-bear?
You should look it up. And tore up 42 children. And then he went to Carmel. It went from then to Mount Carmel and from then to Samaria. So you're
So
telling
he
me
curses them in the name of the Lord, and then these two she bears come out, which to me sounds like he-men, she-men, or something, come out of the woods and cheer up these kids.
yeah,
That's all muffed up.
I don't understand it. Like, okay, now this passage you can say I maybe skimmed over the few times that I went through it. When I started reading the Bible, I read it twice all the way through. So I could have missed this in Kings. There's a lot of information in Kings. It gets very confusing. That's the other thing that's amazing. People say the Bible was written to enslave people in religion. A, I don't do religion. And B, I found God without it. And C, that there's so much history and it's so specific. You could say, okay, well, Game of Thrones did it too, but they just copied this idea. And there's so many kingdoms and there's so many kings, and it talks about this son and that son, and this one did good inside of God, and this one did evil, and so forth. And it goes over all the same characters that we talk about. It goes over what do you call it? Oh shoot, Bathsheba. No, what's the other? Lilith. It goes over all of them. Baal. They started. I think it was. Oh shoot, I'm trying to think of the name of the guy that he was. Ahab. He was the worst king of all. He did evil in the sight of the Lord more than any of those in the past, and he's the guy through. I think it was. I think it's Lilith or one of those demon women. They started temples to Baal, which God specifically hated. He talks about Baal and Moloch in the Bible. And so, and that's an interesting thing. The only reason we have kings was when he took us out of Egypt, they were all bitching and moaning, saying, well, everyone else has kings. And he's like, well, I'll just do it for you. And they're like, no, we want kings. So then we got kings. Some were good, some were bad, some were both. And
Listen to
so,
this. What is a she bear in the dictionary?
What does it say?
Urban Dictionary says she bear, large, furious woman who is often white trash, known to prey on and rape men half her size.
What? That can't be the Bible one.
I don't think so.
No, I think these were animals of some kind. Go back, put that book away. What do you? I don't know what you're reading.
Google.
My God, forget Google. My goodness. And I don't know how this works. I see that Bud Big Bear, he remembers this story, and that's fine. I'm just saying, if it's been changed, even to the point where you remember it as a child, to me it goes against the teachings. We're supposed to pray for enemies. We're not supposed to harm children, and you don't curse in the name of the Lord.
That's right.
So there's three problems. Well, besides the she bears, maybe four problems. There's three main problems I have with this. And it just to me seemed added. And maybe, again, they can maybe crucify me again and say, what dummy doesn't know this passage? I'm just saying I have problems with it. That's all. Because why would he care if these kids called him names? And then to kill a bunch of children, it just is weird. So
you'll never guess who made a book about she bear. I wonder if this is connected.
Do I want to know?
Bears.
Stop it. For real?
He bear and she bear. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I got it right here. I can't believe it.
Baby.
She bears are involved. See, it's a Mandela effect. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, anyways. Okay. What else do we have here? I thought I'll throw this one in the chat too, because this person had a really good breakdown timeline, I thought. But again, meat and bones. Take the information you think that is worthwhile, and if you don't, then don't. But I just push this. I just put this information out there for other people to look in on their own. But it's this thing here. Let's see. Clickety click. We'll go here. Where is it?
Yes, Scotty. I heard about the bonus hole.
Oh yeah, we covered the bonus. Is he late? We covered the bonus.
No, I don't think he's. I don't know if he's late or not, but we did talk about it.
Well, he must be late. Let's see. See, this guy's the same idea. He already came. We were living in Satan's little season of deception, and I put it in the chat. But he comes over, goes over all the different things that we talk about, his return, and in the 7 churches, how do you talk to these churches if they were destroyed? And so it's a pretty good thread, including the stuff that we talk about here. So I threw that in the chat. And the reason I'm talking about it is somebody sent me this, and this person is, I think, in deception. And, he says he's a dad, but he's talking about as Lucifer, Jesus, and Satan, God. And so, you can say whatever you want as long as you don't talk about the Bible and stuff. And so that's why we're here. We're here to help people see these changes and share them with you. And I do want to, we'll end up on Romans, but there's a lot of people that don't even like the teachings of Paul because they say that, he made up the fact that he's a saint. And, he was saying you could do works of Jesus, even though Jesus said you could do these things and greater. So there's a lot of people that are, for some reason, upset with him. What I say is this: whatever happened with Paul and Saul or whatever, he's known for writing majority of the New Testament. A lot of the Bible was written by him. He's responsible for a lot of people finding God and a lot of people understanding how to live within these laws. They got mad at him because he was changing the laws of Moses. Like you were supposed to, mutilate your child's penis and get it circumcised. But when Jesus shows up, he's like, no, you need to stop all these things. And God will circumcise your heart, because there was no longer needed a distinction of who was the original child and who was the, grafted in. Jesus came to graft in everyone. And everyone means even people like me that was born and raised Jewish, and yet I didn't know Jesus. He came to graft me in, even though I was already Jewish. It doesn't make sense because the names get all changed around. God even says there'll be a day in the end times when there's people that say that they're Jews and they're not. And they pray to the Star of Remphan, which is the double triangle. It's not the Star of David. There wasn't one. And so these things were all written about. And however you feel about Paul, I think he did a lot to help people find a true path. And God can use anyone. I mean, Moses straight up was a murderer well before he was bringing people out of Egypt. And so I find it interesting that if you look into this, do you know how Saul or Paul died? Nobody knows. The exact details of St. Paul's death are unknown. Traditions hold that he was beheaded in Rome and died a martyr of his faith, but they don't know. Isn't that interesting? You're talking about a guy that was like responsible for so much of the Bible, and they don't know how he died.
Which one was dipped in oil and then he got out and ran away? Like nothing even happened to him.
I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah.
I know Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were in the fire. And Daniel was the lions. Not sure the burning oil.
Hot oil or something, and it still didn't do anything to him. And he got out and just took off.
Oh, Carla's here. Hey, Carla, Red Pill.
Yeah, Carla. I just said hi. And my channel got taken down, so please make sure you sub and bell this channel that I have now. Some people don't know I got taken down, so.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's see. What do we? Oh, and someone just sent me this also, and I can't play the music to it, but where is it? Because Prince apparently had a song, which we're not going to play, but you can see the words. And it was an Emancipation album, and it says the New World, when you want to find some isolation, but the tracker you got from the thing that rhymes with isolation keeps playing. You'll never walk alone. They're always listening, especially on the phone. When the lines blur, every boy and girl. How are we going to make it in this brave new world? See what they did there with the lines blurring on the boy and girl?
Yeah, every boy and girl, because it's happening with that's who it's the target.
And then I've played this before, but what he said at the end of this concert.
On the computer, but don't let the computer get on you. It's cool. It's cool to use the computer. Don't let the computer use you. You all saw the Matrix. There's a war going on. The battlefield's in the mind. And the prize is the soul.
They tell us straight up. They tell us.
Yep.
So, okay. What's this? Oh, I have this. I might have to redo this and put it on my channel. But for those people that say, because I did this several years ago, I used a camera and I was taking pictures of this beautiful sky that I saw. And, I showed that this is what they say it is. But when you actually play it, instead of seeing this, where is it? Now, this is my camera work, and I didn't have a tripod, so it moves around, but you can see. Like, let's see if I can put it in a little slower. See that it flashes color, and there's different shapes within it. I can hold still. It gets better.
Remember me, you, and Steve? I think we were showing the faces and the stars.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys had some really good stills. I have a bunch of these videos, but I haven't gone through them yet. But I think that you can see.
I had gotten a picture of what's supposed to be Venus outside. It was really close, and I took video of it, and I stopped it frame by frame. In one part, it looks like a face looking down at the earth.
Right? This one was serious, and it's just all these different flashes of blue, and it looks like it's pulsing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the reason it's moving around. Here's Venus.
Wow.
And it doesn't look anything like they show us in NASA photos. Let's see. I'll just let it play. Like, there's lines that go through it too. Because there's some type of beings of some kind.
It's definitely intelligent. Look at
Right?
that. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. It's all frequency. That's crazy.
And that was just me with this little camera. This one was Mars. You see the little inner ring? You'll see in a second.
Yeah, I seen that.
You see all the
It
different
looks
flashes
like a
of color?
nuclei in a cell or something.
Right? What's this one? Look at that.
Do it.
And you can see there's this inner stuff going on in here too.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Look at that. That thing is going crazy.
Right?
That is like plasma energy or something.
And I
portals. I feel like these are portals.
And I truly believe that everything is closer, because there's things I can see with my naked eye I could never do. You could see Pleiades, and that was something that you had to have absolute darkness, it seemed. Now I can see it super clear with my regular eyes. I don't need any telescope or binoculars. And you can see these things with binoculars if you don't have a telescope.
Yeah, I got some good binoculars from old ones downstairs from Sears and Roebuck's when they were around. And they're heavy, man, but there are some good binoculars.
Right?
Yeah.
So, okay. We'll clear all that. And I'll tell you what, we're getting late in the hour here. I'm going to put up my Sarah video for those of us that are keeping track and want to see Sarah. And we'll play that. All right, here we go.
The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
Okay, so I thought I would show people what I was saying about how you can clean a cast iron. Like this has got, grease in it from something that was cooked in it earlier, but it's really good seasoned grease. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use the eggs that I'm going to cook up for the dogs, and we'll use that to clean up the pan. I'll probably do it in a what do you call those, fast motion things?
Fast, very fast.
And we got a choice. I usually either there's smoked oregano or oregano. We grew this and then dried it and then ground it up. And the reason the one is we call smoky is because I cooked it a little longer and it at a higher temperature, and it sort of got a bit of a smoke look to it. And then probably some salt and pepper. And then we'll do the time lapse or the speed up, and you'll see what happens.
And mix.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, so we're gonna let that cool so the eggs aren't too hot for the dogs, and then we'll check out the pan. Okay, so we've transferred the eggs into the bowl for the dogs. So what's left in the pan, what I would do now is I'll add water to it. We'll put it to a boil, get it steaming, and then that'll all just wipe out real easy with the brush. And then while it's still warm, we can add the olive oil to it to season it, and I'll show you that too. But it's already looking great, and it wouldn't take more than just a few swipes with a brush with no soap and some hot water to finish this up.
Now clean it up!
And now I'm going to just wipe off the excess water, and then we'll add some olive oil. And then just get yourself a lint-free towel and you can wipe that. Make sure that the skillet is hot when that works, because it'll allow it to penetrate the pan better. There you are.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's time for Ceiling Fan Man and Sarah, and kisses and tacos.
Here, remember? We had tacos.
Where will we find the Black Panther? No one knows. Ah, there she is!
Hmm. 一样是少林学艺，东院的师傅是怎么教你的？年多没见，怎么一点长进都没有？
Satellite tracking continues.
Yes, my cat knows Japanese.
I love Sarah.
Right? I know where she's out patrolling tonight. So, well, did you have anything others you wanted to discuss? Or we?
No, that's it. I had fun.
Right. So, I do want to finish with Oh wait, I do have these pictures. Wait, let me get into that real quick. Let me get those off of this. Okay, let's see. Clickety click. We'll go here. This was just sent to me. Might have been Mesa Melt or I forget. Trevor. I get so many people sending me things. I apologize if I got the wrong name. But this is in Detroit. Look at this building. Or I'm sorry, Denver. It's in Denver.
Wow. Definitely a mud flutter.
Look at that thing. It's got some Antiquotech going on here.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
Cymatic windows. How am I doing, Jen? I'm not Steve, but I can get as close as I can.
Great. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
Wonder how far down this church goes.
Right? Yeah. Pretty wild. Yeah, because you got your half windows and stuff. You can see. Yeah. It's pretty fun. Pretty crazy. What's this? Oh, I forgot. So just so you know, Santa that they say is he flies through the air with the reindeer. Well, Saturno, or however you want to say his name, Saturn.
Saturno.
He is depicted the same way.
Yeah.
See?
Look at that.
Oh, and for those of you who's keeping score, if you thought you were a Capricorn the goat, you're now the Capricorn the goat fish.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not a Mandela change. That's just
There's
always
Aquarius
been a goat.
over there on the other side.
Yeah.
That's me.
But for all those, that's you? Oh, that's cool. Well, for all those Capricorns that thought they were a goat, you're only half right.
Yeah. Can't get right.
But yeah, there you go. There's your Satan, Saturn, Santa.
That's
and
right.
I thought this was interesting. Look at this one.
An anagram for Satan.
Look at this. Scalori after the setting of the sun with the chariots of Apollo and Diana. And I'm like, it's reminding me of what we saw with God's butt on the Sistine Chapel. Like, what is going on with this obsession?
Why are we seeing all up under there?
Right? And
that's no bueno.
He's even got the family jewels popping down there.
Right?
Yeah. So it's not that, yeah.
Oh my Lord.
And so here's another one. I mean, come on. And that's the way
like that.
Of course Jen goes for that. You're right. That is not comfortable for men. Just speaking as a man with an XY, that's not a comfortable.
Maybe he's a Tucker.
All roads lead to Rome, right, Jen? So, but this is the way I see it more. Originally, Satan, his dragon was capable of flying and talking and all that, and then eventually just became the snake on the ground that can't speak and eats dust his whole life. But yeah, not Santa Claus. So that's it. Okay. So we got rid of that tab. Okay. And then okay. So my wife sent me this to look into, and I think it's a perfect passage. And for those of you that want to get some solace of what we're dealing with in the times that we find ourselves in, this is a good one. This is Romans. Again, this would be the letters of Paul. At one point, here's the thing. If he wasn't ordained as an apostle and he was lying about that, his teachings and his belief, he believed so much in God that he continued doing these teachings even after they put him in jail for it, and potentially even lost his head for it. So if you're faking it, that would be some really tough thing to, why would you do that? You would have stopped. Because I'll tell you this, whenever he needed to, he reminded people he was of Roman blood, and it saved his butt a few times. So he had no problem announcing that he had Roman in him. Mm-hmm. And yet he still would not denounce God, because he supposedly met him on the road to Damascus and he changed his life. And so I truly believe that part of the story, and his teachings are, I think, some of the best. And so regardless of his story, if he fluffed it up or inserted himself or whatever, he's in this book. He's in this book more than anyone. And if that's the way I see it, so I'm going to listen to these teachings. But he talks about the times that we live in and how we're supposed to live, like we were talking about tonight. How do you justify talking and doing this in the world that we live in? And he encourages us that there is no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus, who walk not after the flesh, but after spirit. For the law of the Spirit of Christ Jesus has made me free from the law of sin and death. Because he was going around, he's the kid that's in the story when right after Jesus is gone, there's this young man, he's still preaching Jesus' gospel, and they stone him to death. And Saul, young Saul, is there. And then he goes on a rampage, and he goes around persecuting and hurting and killing people that believed in Christ, Christians, whatever you want to call them. And so when he has his change, when he meets God, and he tries to hook up with the disciples, well, they want nothing to do with them. And understandably so, because he was trying to kill them just last week, and now he's saying he's one of them. And so he ends up having to go on his own little trek with a guy, I think, named Barnabas or Barnaby or something like that. And so they go off and they're preaching together. But there's even a time when he turns away from Paul. And so there's a lot of people that are angry with Paul. I know the Beatles are, but he's well, that one's a fake Paul, right? It was, anyways. And so he's saying here, for what the law could not do in it that was weak through flesh, God, sending his only Son in the likeness of sinful flesh for sin, condemns him in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but in spirit. And he says it way better, but basically I'll paraphrase what he's talking about. Is he's saying that unlike the story in the Bible where God tells Abraham he needs to kill Isaac, and people go, wow, what kind of God would say that? He doesn't kill him. It was a test of faith, and he doesn't have Abraham go through with it. On the flip side, God has to do it to his son. He has to have Jesus crucified and die. Why? Because he was perfect. It wasn't their life to take. And if he does this on the cross, it gives a blank check to anybody that wants to receive it. Jew, Gentile, Muslim, it doesn't matter what you are or what you think you are or what you've decided you are. He accepts everyone. You just have to understand the story. And so what he's saying is, for God sent his son so that we wouldn't have to go through this, because the system that was set up long before we came about was sin equals death. And he set it up because the fallen angels came down and screwed everything for us and everyone. And so that system is to take them out, but we're in it too. And we all sin. Our hearts are set on sin, God says. And so he brings in Jesus and does this for us. And Jesus does this for us. You don't even know him, some of you. I didn't know him until just a few years ago. And so he does this for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the laws of God, neither can it indeed can be. So when they are in flesh, cannot please God. But ye are not in flesh, but in spirit. So if so, be that Spirit of God dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, he is none of this. If Christ be in you, your body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit of life is life because of righteousness. So he's saying, even though that we're dead in sin, Christ gives us the life in spirit so we can overcome it. How? He did it. And so that's how we can do it through him. He'll do it for us. So the Spirit that raised up Jesus from the dead dwells in you. He that raised up Christ from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his Spirit that dwelleth in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors. Oh, you like that? Not trespassers. Not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if you live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if you live through the Spirit, do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. Many are led by the Spirit of God. They are the sons of God. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but you've received the spirit of adoption, whereabout we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit itself bear witness to our spirit that we are children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ, if so, that we suffer with him, that we may be glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestations of the sons of God. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of them who had subject the same in hope. Because the creature itself is also delivered from the bondage of corruption, the glorious liberty of the children of God. For we know the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And now, not only they, but ourselves, which have the first fruits of Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to which the redemption of our body. For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, what yet does he hope for? But if we hope for what we do not see, then we do with patience wait for it. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities. For we know what not we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit maketh intercession for us with groanings that cannot be uttered. And what he's saying there is the same idea. God knows what's in our heart. He knows what we need before we know it, before we ask for it. And there's infirmities going on in our bodies, and it's within us to be able to be healed. And God's working on it right now, even if you don't think it or see it, even if you're not asking. Because if you pray because you want to fix something, what he's saying here is you might not even realize what you're supposed to be praying for. Maybe you're supposed to be praying for a spirit, evil demon spirit or something to be cast out that's causing some affliction that you feel physically. Because we're at this constant war between the spirit and the flesh. And the things that happen in the spirit, we're in a spiritual battle. They manifest themselves in our flesh because these are the meat suits we're in. And so what he's saying here is you might not even be praying for the right thing, but God's working at trying to heal you. Now, we do other things, that we ingest the wrong foods or drink the wrong thing or whatever, or we put on like poisons in our hairsprays or what do you call it, makeup, suntan lotions. There's a lot of things that we're putting in and on our bodies that I think our system's constantly having to cleanse. And so I think that's partly what he's saying here. And he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is in the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of God. And we know all things work together for the good to them that love God, and to them that are called according to his purpose. For whom did he foreknow? He also did predestinate to be conformed this image of his son. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble speaking. That he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, did he predestinate them? He is also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, he also glorified. So, it's saying that God's called us for these things. He has plans for us. And we just need to open our hearts and our minds and listen and make this relationship because of the times that we're in. And it says, who shall lay a thing to charge of God's elect? It is God that justifieth. Who is he that condemneth? Like I was saying, you don't mock if you really believe in Christ. Let God deal with it. If I'm in error and I'm completely wrong in my teachings, God will sort it out. You don't need to mock me and belittle me. That's not in the teachings. And it says here, who is he that condemneth? It is Christ that died, yea, rather that is risen again. Who is even at the right hand of God, who also make intercession for us? Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord. And I couldn't say anything more than that. Where'd you go? There you are.
I closed it out by accident. I was closing my tabs and I closed the stream.
No worries. I was pontificating and reading Paul.
I know, it was great. I was listening to everything.
But isn't that, my wife sent me that. It's Romans 8. And it's like, he hits the nail on the head, like the times that we're in. Whatever trouble that you're going through right now, you've got to look at the end game. Okay. We get fixated on, like, there's a lot of people we talked about. They're looking for the Antichrist and looking for that and this, that, and the other. What you're forgetting is the war's already won. The passage that changed, where it said it's in Genesis, he'll put enmity. He's talking about between Satan and us, and he says, "He will crush thy head, and you shall bruise thy heel," or one of those. And it's now just bruise and bruise, and it actually uses the word "it" in place of Jesus.
Yep.
And sorry, I know
and
that's
it's evening out the playing field, just like we see in that painting with the finger of man reaching for the finger of God, and now it's kind of like even.
100%.
And so, you know, I'm sure the man's finger will be above God's, because that's Lucifer's plan all along, is to be like the most high. Yeah. So if he's going to be the most high, he has to be higher than God. That's what he's trying to do.
And so as we find ourselves in these times that we're in, we have to think about the battle's already won. God will sort it out. And we just have to be, what does he tell us a lot? Stand, be patient, and have no fear. Like, that's what he wants us to do. We have to, and preach. Like, if we're not the ones that are helping the revival of Jesus or the church, whatever you want to call it, then who is? There's plenty of people that are doing the opposite. And so, no, I'm gonna preach as long as I can about the things that I'm seeing, and know that God has a plan, even if we don't understand it. That's the whole book of Job. And so, excuse me. So that's what I see in that Romans is he's telling us the same thing as Jesus did, is to be patient and wait. And why is it taking so long? Well, our timeline and God's timeline is completely different. But there are plenty of people like ourselves. I wasn't thinking like or talking like this just say 5 years ago. And so maybe that extra day that we're waiting, that other person or those other people, they come on board. And so it's like a baby in travail. He talks about that all the time. 9 months is what you're supposed to do. And so if there's a certain period of time to go through this so he can get as many people home, then that's why we're here. And yeah, we're suffering, but we'll make it through it by his grace.
And faith.
And faith. Isn't that a great thing where he said, what is hope? If you can see the thing that you hope for, then there's no hope. You already see it. See, that's what hope and faith are. It's something you can't see, but you just have to believe in it. Just like science. Instead, I put my trust in God and Jesus.
That's right.
So, all right.
And what happens when you put your trust in science? You wind up on a ball hurtling through space with volcanoes spitting out bricks at you.
Where's your guy? There he is.
That's very true.
Yeah, and Mercury is inside those red bricks and all that. We can cover that again. I'm fascinated with that whole thing.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get back into all that.
Oh. Okay. Well, I guess if Jen's put her channel in there a bunch of times, please sub and bell. Please like, share, and subscribe this stream if you enjoyed yourself. And I guess, and no matter what struggle you're going through, others are going through it, or some even worse. And a good friend of mine just told me that he lost his dad, and he lost his dad to some violent act. And so it really puts in perspective whatever trials and things that are happening. Other people are dealing with it too. And like Paul said in that about the going through tribulation, God has us, and just make your relationship there. And I guess I'll end it with, Father in heaven, please watch over us and anyone that's listening to the sound of my voice now or later. Please guide us through these times. If we don't know you, encourage us somehow to ask and spend that moment alone and see if we can't make that connection, because the time is short. The oil lamps need to be filled, and we can't do it without your help. And so, Father, please help those that are still struggling and wondering about the things that I talk about. Open their eyes and their hearts to the love and the affection and the mercy that we feel from you. And I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Hallelujah.
So, and as one of my listeners wrote, and I'm going to read it again, it was Veronica. She said, healing is for you because of what Jesus did. Just as you accept Jesus as your Savior, you can accept Jesus as your healer. And so let's keep that in mind.
I
And
like
we're
that.
praying for things. Remember, it's a spiritual battle. And don't forget, you can ask God or Jesus to take on things that you can't handle, and He'll do it. And I encourage everyone to make that connection. So, and with that, one more. You want to hear one more? Someone's getting fired.
Yeah.
Someone should get fired over this, right?
So besides shows you can watch on YouTube, there are movies. So I put on a movie. Uh-oh. He doesn't seem to like this. You know why? Because it was never that way. See, he got too many lines on his dollar. Someone's getting fired.
That was someone's getting fired, is what that was.
Oh, that was good.
Well, that's the thing. I haven't been hitting this quantum effect too much, but now that I'm told that it doesn't exist by more people way bigger than me, I'm going to keep pushing it until they have to eventually admit something's happening.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's it. Put a pin in it. We're done. Thank you very much, Jen. I love you. It's so fun talking to you and hanging out on the show with you.
Thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. And
let it
everyone
not be said that we stood by and did nothing.
I love that one. And everyone that's still here and that's joining later, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to see all the familiar names and faces and new ones. And so, and for my Australian friends, good eye. I don't know if you say good night, but any case, thank you all for being here. And God willing, let's do this again next Friday. And with that, you get, where is he? You get this guy.
Class is dismissed.
And then you get the saddest song on the internet. Okay. Have a good night, everyone. God bless you all.
Guys.
This one. Good night again.